Chapter 110. Ningqing knew that he had the mysterious yellow origin, so he was able to perceive the hundreds of changes on the parchment. So for the rest of the people, they could not perceive the changes, or could only perceive 2 or 3 changes. Ningqing did not find it strange. But when he saw the first name on the huge array formation screen, he was immediately shocked in his heart. The first name unexpectedly had 95 points. Ningqing could even guess that the question that was not completely answered should be the first question. That is to say, except for the question that was not completely answered, the first name unexpectedly answered all the other questions correctly. As for the mistake in the first question, it was estimated that there was a mistake in saying how many changes there were. But what Ningqing did not expect was that he knew the first name. It was Yuing from the Falling Star 5-Star Academy. This little girl with the worst cultivation on the stage unexpectedly got 95 points, and was unquestionably the first. The second name was Lung Yiyang from the Luohua Academy with 65 points, which was far from the first name. But for him to get the second name, it was not a shame. The third name was Ling Naixin from the Thunder Academy with 55 points, which reflected her results in the preliminary round. The fourth name was unexpectedly Situyu from the Clear Sky Academy with 45 points. It stood to reason that Gong Jun from the Clear Sky Academy should have been the one to score in the first round, but the result was that his score was only 15 points. The real surprise was Ningqing from the Godwind Academy. Ningqing obtained 100 points in the first round. But in the first round of the 5-Star Academies, he unexpectedly only obtained 10 points. Instead it was Meng Jingxiu who represented the Godwind Academy who obtained 25 points. When the rankings came out, whether it was the representatives of the 5-Star Academies or the onlookers, all of them were in an uproar. The Godwind Academy's most favored Ning Xiaocheng unexpectedly only obtained 10 points. This score was really shameful. Fortunately, Ningqing's score was not the lowest. There were even people who only obtained 5 points. That Ning Xiaocheng is not worthy of his name. He unexpectedly only obtained 10 points. This time the Godwind Academy really suffered a big loss. He must have seen the questions in the preliminary round before, otherwise he would not have been able to obtain 100 points. Luck can only happen once. How can someone be so lucky every time? After all, they are selected by the small academies. Don't you think that Gong Jun, who represents the Clear Sky Academy, is different? Previously, he scored 76 points in the preliminary exam, but in the end he only scored 15 points in the actual competition. That's true. Plus that Yuan Liang from the Falling Star Academy also did not have a good result. In this first round of the competition, only Lung Yiyang and Ling Naixin had good results in the preliminary round. The rest of the people were all screwed up. Who are Lung Yiyang and Ling Naixin? He had a pure spiritual root, and was a core disciple of a 5-Star Academy. The difference between those rogue cultivators and those with pure spiritual roots is obvious. After the results of the first round of the competition came out, the spectators were discussing it. The Clear Sky Academy was better off. After all, Situyu still stood up. But the Godwind Academy suffered a Waterloo. The highest score was only Meng Jingxiu, who got 25 points. On the main altar, Lu Xian also had a disappointed look on his face. He had never thought that Ningqing, whom he had gone through untold hardships to find, would not be able to bring him the results he deserved. Luohua Academy's Cheng Chengxian suddenly smiled and spoke to Lu Xian. Elder brother Lu, it seems that only true fire can be used to refine true gold. The Godwind Academy this time, alas. Everyone knew that Cheng Chengxian was ridiculing Lu Xian for snatching Ning City. Not to mention that they had to pay a lot of resources, but now they also had to bear the consequences. Fortunately, he did not know that Ningqing and the Shui clan had fallen out, and brought another enemy to the Godwind Academy. Hey, elder brother Lu has great foresight. Let that Ning Xiaoqing go up. Maybe in the third round of the competition he would be able to determine the heaven and earth. After all, fighting is the most important point. The profound congealing elder from the Falling Star Academy ridiculed in a very proud tone. He had a reason to be proud. After the first round of the competition, the Falling Star Academy was ranked first with a total of 170 points. The Luohua Academy was ranked second with 120 points. The Thunder Academy was ranked third with 108 points, and the Clear Sky Academy was ranked 4th with 105 points. But the God Wind Academy, who was favored to shorten their score in the first round, not only did they not shorten their score, but the gap between them was even wider. With only 66 points, they were ranked at the bottom. Lucien was not in a good mood. Now that he was ridiculed one after another, his face turned livid with anger. Even so, he did not have any way to refute it. Ji Luofei, who was standing at the God Wind Academy station, bit her lips. She simply did not care about the ridiculing eyes of the rest of the God Wind Academy's disciples. She was worried about Ning Cheng. She believed that there was definitely a reason why Ning Cheng was able to obtain a score of 10 points in the first round, but unfortunately, she could not go up and ask Ning Cheng. Luofei. A slightly hoarse voice sounded out from beside Ji Luofei. Auntie. Ji Luofei turned around and saw Ji Yaohe, and subconsciously called out. Then she saw the two women standing behind Ji Yaohe, looking at their robes. They should be the new students of the Falling Star Academy. Luofei, hurry up and come with me to the Shui clan, and then agree to the marriage with Shui Yu. Ji Yaohe's words had not yet finished, when she was interrupted by Ji Luofei. Auntie, if you continue to speak such words in the future, then we will no longer have any relationship. Luofei, what are you talking about? Who told you to speak to your auntie like that? Ning Qing killed Shui Fenggan of the Shui clan. It is simply a dead end for him. He would not even be able to pass the third round of the competition. Yet you are still so stubborn. Do you want to die? Ji Yaohe's complexion changed. Ji Luofei plainly said, if you are my auntie, then do not let me, a fiancé, remarry. If you continue to speak such words, then we are no longer relatives. Ji Yaohe's complexion turned pale. She knew that her niece had a strong temperament, but she did not think that she would be so unreasonable. Fortunately, she knew that this was the God Wind encampment. Even if she was angry, she still forced herself to calm down. Luofei, do you know what kind of person Ning Qing is? You see, he only scored 10 points in the first round. This is his real level. Before, in the preliminary round, it was because he got the answer. Of course, this is not important. The important thing is, Ning Qing is simply an extremely dissolute person. When he was in the Clear Heart Academy, he openly slept together with the Clear Heart Academy's Su Zhu. What kind of person Su Zhu is, Lu Shui and Yong Guyin behind me are very clear about it. If you do not believe me, you can ask the two of them. He is simply a man who can marry anyone. Ji Luofei, who had been enduring until now, finally could not bear it anymore. She suddenly shouted, Ji Yaohe, why do you want to go against Ning Cheng? I want to be together with him. One by one you come here to slander him. In the end, what is the meaning of this? You leave. I never want to see you again. Me and Ning Cheng, it is our own affair. It has nothing to do with other people. Thinking of how many years she had spent alone, she had finally found her aunt and mother, but her aunt and mother had come here one by one to deceive her, and wanted her to leave Ning Cheng. Ji Luofei's heart was filled with endless pain. Her aunt Ji Yaohe once again came here and spoke those words. It made Ji Luofei's anger and the sadness that she had accumulated for the past few days to reach a critical point. She finally could not help but burst out. Hearing Luofei directly call her Ji Yaohe, Ji Yaohe pointed at Ji Luofei with her hand trembling. In the end, this Ji Luofei, what kind of devil was this? Why was she so irrational? Although Ning Cheng's results in the first round of the tournament were not good, but Ning Cheng and Ji Luofei were still students of the God Wind Academy. An essence-building cultivator from the God Wind Academy came over and said to Ji Yaohe, the few of you, please do not make trouble in my God Wind Academy encampment. Ji Yaohe suppressed her anger, and angrily left with Lu Shui and Yong Guyin. She decided to ignore Ji Luofei. Her final ending was her own fault. No one could blame her. Standing on the square platform, the dignified man presiding over the tournament waited for the results of the first round of the tournament to come out, and then once again spoke. Now we will proceed to the second round of the tournament. The 25 participants, now write down your understanding of the contents of the leather scroll that you saw in the first round of the tournament, or write down your understanding of the contents of the leather scroll, the time it takes to burn an incense stick. Ning Cheng's heart was getting clearer. It really was like this. The first 2 rounds of the exam were absolutely to see if there was anyone who could really understand and comprehend the contents of the leather scroll. Once there was such a person, then perhaps they would immediately be taken away. Regardless of whether the outcome of being taken away was good or bad, Ningqing did not want to be the one to stand out. He still had a lot of things to do. How could he be taken away like this? All the people began to write down their own understanding of the contents of the leather scroll. Ningqing was also writing. He just wrote that the contents of the leather scroll had nothing to do with it, and then did not write anything else. Then he began to continue to feel the images that he had seen through the contents of the leather scroll. The feeling was getting more and more clear. This time Ningqing did not wait for the other party to interrupt him. Before the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, he took the initiative to stop his own understanding of the contents of the leather scroll. The second round of the tournament was even more rushed than the first round. After the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, Ningqing and the other 25 participants came down from the square platform, while at the same time the results of the second round came out. In the second round of the tournament, Ningqing's score was even lower. It was only a pitiful 1 point. In other words, he had obtained 11 points in the first 2 rounds. The highest score in the second round of the tournament was still Yuing. She had obtained 51 points. This time Ningqing specifically paid attention to this girl called Yuing. He knew that if it was really about the comprehension of the second round, then Yuing might not even be able to get 5 points. He guessed that the man who was presiding over the tournament had deliberately raised the score. But even if that was the case, Yuing was definitely not ordinary. Unfortunately, this Yuing was not as experienced as him. Maybe she would be caught and used as a laborer. The third round is the Great Duel Tournament. The tournament will now begin. When the scores of the second round appeared on the array projection screen, the man who was presiding over the tournament also announced the start of the third round of the tournament. Saying that, as if there was nothing else for him to do, he took a step back to his seat, then closed his eyes, and no longer spoke. Chapter 111. After the results of the second round came out, the Falling Star Academy was ranked first with 221 points, while the Luohua Academy was ranked second with 155 points. The Thunder Academy was ranked third with 138 points. The Clear Sky Academy was ranked fourth with 130 points, while the Godwind Academy was far behind with 76 points. The dignified man who presided over the first and second rounds announced the start of the third round, and no longer spoke. At this time an old man who was sitting below him walked to the front of the main altar, and spoke in a clear voice. The third round is the competition of the strength of the 5 academies. This is also the best place to measure the strength of each academy. So the third round is also the one with the most points, with a total of 250 points. As for how many points each academy can get, it all depends on their own ability. When Ningqing heard this, he thought to himself, sure enough, the first 2 rounds of the tournament were definitely not the deciding factor. Perhaps the first 2 rounds were deliberately added by the person who could not solve the leather scroll, so the time was short, and the score was low. The real deciding factor for which academy would become a 6-star academy was the 5th round of the tournament. Ningqing. Ji Luofei was a little worried as she greeted him. Her aunt had only made her sad for a while. Her whole mind was focused on Ningqing. Lu Xian also came over from the main altar, and patted Ningqing's shoulder and said, "You do not have to worry about it. Even if you scored 100 points, our score in the third round is still not optimistic. In the third round you can take a break and look at the performance of the other senior apprentice brothers, while at the same time learning some actual combat experience." Lu Xian's words made Ningqing have a good impression of him. It was reasonable to say that he was a core disciple of the Godwind Academy, mainly for the first 2 rounds of the tournament, but the fact was that he scored a total of 11 points in the first 2 rounds. Moreover, because this score was too low, it was not taken into account. After comforting Ningqing, Lu Xian went to the 3 late-stage True Condensation senior apprentice brothers who were going to score in the third round. Although your performance was within my expectations, but you scored 11 points in the first 2 rounds, I am still a little disappointed. Originally I thought that since you wanted to take my spot, then you would definitely score for the Godwind Academy. In fact, I really did not misread you. Meng Jingxiu came over and looked at Ning Cheng with some disdain as she spoke. Ning Cheng knew that the other party was because he had almost taken away her spot in the tournament. If not for Lu Xian speaking to her, then Meng Jingxiu's hatred towards him would have been even greater. Ning Cheng simply did not take Meng Jingxiu seriously, as he lazily spoke. You don't seem to be much higher than me. I am not much higher than you. But in the first 2 rounds of the God Wind Academy's 35 points were all obtained by me alone. What's more, my main point is not in the first 2 rounds, as such you would not understand. Meng Jingxiu shook her head towards Ning Cheng, as she spoke with a hint of pride in her tone. Saying that, she turned around and walked away, not intending to wait for Ning Cheng to answer. But Ning Cheng, who was standing behind her, gave a smile and said, "Why do you think the same as me? Did you know that I would also get points in the 3rd round?" When Meng Jingxiu heard Ning Cheng's words, her eyes revealed a trace of ridicule, but she was simply too lazy to answer. At this moment, the old man presiding over the 3rd round spoke again. Now let me explain the rules of the 3rd round. The 3rd round is not limited to opponents, nor is it limited to the number of battles. Even 2 participants from the same academy can fight. This explanation was something that even Ning Cheng could not understand. Since it was a competition between the academies, then of course it would be a fight between the contestants from the other academies. How could it be a fight between people from the same academy? The audience below were also in an uproar. It was obvious that they did not understand why this rule was set. When the old man saw that everyone was in an uproar, he immediately used his hand to calm them down, and at the same time raised his voice and said, "Quiet down, let me continue to explain the rules." The old man came from an intermediate class continent, so his words still carried a lot of weight. After his words came out, the audience immediately quieted down. The old man presiding over the competition continued to speak in a clear voice. Before the 3rd round of the tournament, each of the 25 contestants will carry 10 points, adding up to a total of 250 points. That is to say, each academy will have a total of 50 points. The 2 people who come on stage to fight must carry points. The points of the loser will be added to the winner. For example, if Zhang San and Li Si come on stage to fight, both of them will carry 10 points. If Zhang San wins, then Zhang San's points will become 20 points, while Li Si will not have any points. People who do not have points are not allowed to come on stage. If Wang Wu carries 10 points and challenges Zhang San, and Zhang San loses, then all the points on Zhang San's body will become Wang Wu's. Wang Wu would then have 30 points, while Zhang San would not have any points. The old man's explanation was very clear, and all the people understood. This really was the most direct way to grab points, and was also the most intuitive method. But in this way, wouldn't it mean that the person with the highest cultivation would end up with all 250 points? But thinking that there was only one 6-star academy, this did not seem to be contradictory. The old man continued, if one of the 2 people from the academy has a slightly lower cultivation, and does not want to participate in the tournament, then they can give their points to the person from the same academy, who has a higher cultivation level. The person who took out the points is not allowed to continue to come on stage to challenge others, and the others are also not allowed to challenge those who do not have points. In addition, each person has 3 chances to challenge, and each person can only be challenged 3 times. Remember, if it is a challenge between the same academy, no matter how many times you are challenged, it will only count as one challenge. These are the rules of the tournament. If anyone has any questions, then you can ask them. Excuse me, if a disciple from your academy loses, but after stepping down from the stage, another disciple gives his points to him, can he still continue to come on stage to challenge? The one who asked this question was the God Wind Academy's Lu Xian. The others knew the meaning behind Lu Xian's words. The God Wind Academy had very few experts in the tournament. He was afraid that if the most powerful disciple lost, then he would not have the opportunity to rebound. No. This time the old man's answer was extremely simple. Excuse me, if in the case of a mistake in the tournament, and you kill your opponent, then what? The one who asked this question was unexpectedly Shui Yu from the Shui clan. When Ning Cheng heard Shui Yu's words, he immediately knew that this guy was looking at him with a killing intent in his eyes. and wanted to kill him first. The old man coldly looked at Shuiyu and said with an expressionless face, "If you are afraid of death, then give your points to the people from your academy as soon as possible." After the old man finished speaking, he waited for a moment, and then spoke in a loud and clear voice. "The third round of the tournament will now begin. The people who come on stage must first inform their opponents of the points that they have brought with them." The old man who was presiding over the third round of the tournament had already retired, and the square platform in the middle of the square was also surrounded by a strong restriction, but no one came on stage. It seemed that no one wanted to be the first bird to stand out. The people in the square were also not anxious. Everyone knew that this was just the calm before the battle. Once the fight started, it would not be calm for even half a moment. The people on the main altar were also not anxious. It seemed that they knew that there would always be someone who would eat the crab first. At this time on the huge third array formation projection screen, 25 people's names appeared. Each person's name was marked with 10 points. Although the 25 people appeared on the array formation projection screen, but everyone was very clear that under these rules, only those 10 people would be able to come on stage, and not all of them would be able to come on stage. "Ningcheng, give your points to me. Your cultivation is too low. If you keep it in your hands, then it would be taken away by someone else." Meng Jingxiu had thought that she would never speak to Ningcheng again, but when she heard the rules of the tournament, she immediately came to Ningcheng's side. "Who do you think you are? Why should I give it to you?" If Meng Jingxiu had thought that he had snatched her spot, and she had some opinions about him, then Ningcheng could still understand it. But now she thought that she was amazing, and came to take his points as a matter of course. Ningcheng immediately became unhappy in his heart. "Then I will challenge you." Meng Jingxiu saw that Ningcheng was just a trivial early-stage true condensation cultivator, and even dared to hold on to his 10 points, and immediately became unhappy in her heart. In her view, the points that Ningcheng had in his hands were not given to the disciples of his academy, and were definitely given to others. Fuck off. Ningcheng could not bear it any longer. In his heart he was thinking that this woman was sick. If she wanted to challenge, then the other academies also had 20 spots, and you could freely challenge them. But she just had to stare at the 10 points in his hands. Did she think that he was easy to bully? Meng Jingxiu raised her eyebrows, but before she could get angry, Lu Xian had already walked over and said, "The tournament is about to start. What are you still quarreling about?" Ningcheng said to Lu Xian, "Deacon Lu, Meng Jingxiu actually wants to challenge me. Does she have a problem with her brain?" Meng Jingxiu was just about to explain that Ningcheng taking the points was a waste, when she saw Lu Xian frown and speak. "Meng Jingxiu, our Godwind Academy is also a 5-star academy. Don't do or say such ridiculing words in the future. Prepare yourself. You will have to participate in the tournament." "Yes." Meng Jingxiu did not dare to be rude to Deacon Lu, and replied in a respectful voice, before she turned around and left. This time she was too lazy to even look at Ningcheng. "Deacon Lu, did you also come to ask me for the points?" Ningcheng's tone was calm. If Lu Xian also came to ask for the points, then he would immediately give them to Lu Xian, and then take Ji Luofei away from here. In this tournament he had already obtained enough benefits. The hundreds of changes in the ancient scroll had given him a lot of benefits. For Lu Xian to ask him for the points, it was already not showing any respect to him. Even if he had to take out the points, he would have to take them himself. Lu Xian gave a wry smile and shook his head and said, "No, you just have to pay attention to your own safety on the stage. I can see that Shueyu's eyes are filled with killing intent. You have to be careful of him. My Godwind Academy is already doomed to be at the bottom. Why would I want your 10 points? If you are not sure, then you can give your points to Chuyong Xian. He is the first person in my Godwind Academy's true condensation realm." "Many thanks, Deacon Lu, but I still want to try it myself." Ningcheng felt that this Lu Xian was also a person with a temperament, and was very much in line with his temperament. Godwind Academy's Meng Jingxiu has brought her 10 points to the stage to challenge. No matter who it is, I will accept it. Meng Jingxiu had already stepped onto the square platform when Ningcheng, who was talking to Lu Xian, saw her. When Lu Xian saw that Meng Jingxiu was the first to step onto the stage to challenge, He shook his head, sighed and turned away. No one had thought that the first person to challenge would unexpectedly be God Wind Academy's Meng Jingxiu. In terms of cultivation, Meng Jingxiu was only at true condensation 6th level. Among the 5 5-star academies that were here to prepare their disciples for the 3rd round of the tournament, even the worst among them was at least at the late stages of true condensation. But a true condensation 6th level cultivator actually wanted to come onto the stage to challenge? The audience in the square were all talking about it. They all wanted to know which academy would Meng Jingxiu from the God Wind Academy send her points to. Chapter 112. Meng Jingxiu's declaration of challenge had just come out, when 2 figures rushed towards the platform. However, the people from Luohua Academy were clearly a bit closer, and they rushed onto the square platform first. When the other person saw that the people from Luohua Academy had already gone up, he could only turn around resentfully. I am Zhu Junjie from Luohua Academy carrying 10 points. Miss Meng, you're no match for me. Since you're a woman, as long as you admit defeat. Zhu Junjie's words were not even finished when Meng Jingxiu brought out her magical weapon. A fiery red halberd shadow instantly sealed off all of Zhu Junjie's escape routes. After the fiery red halberd shadow pierced out, the restrictions on the edge of the square battle stage began to shake. Such a powerful true essence. Ningchen could see with a glance that this Meng Jingxiu was a lot stronger than Zhu Junjie. Zhu Junjie's cultivation level was already at true condensation 8th level, but the strength of a cultivator sometimes could not be explained by just having a high cultivation level. Ning Cheng had a deep understanding of this, before and after the transformation of his meridians by the mysterious yellow origin. The strength of his true condensation 1st level cultivation was like the difference between heaven and earth. Seeing Meng Jingxiu's halberd shadow, Ning Cheng's previous unhappiness towards this woman actually faded a lot. There were not many women who used halberd-type artifacts, but Meng Jingxiu's halberd was already more than 30 feet long. It was simply like a fierce general on the battlefield. It could be seen that this woman had always been such a straightforward person. She did not know how to speak, and it was easy for her to offend people. Ning Cheng was using a broken spear, because he did not have a large storage bag. As such, he could only carry the broken spear on his back. So when he saw Meng Jingxiu display her halberd, he felt a kind of hypocritical feeling. Zhu Junjie completely did not think that Meng Jingxiu would make a move without even saying a word, as he panicked and brought out his own round shield-type artifact. Kacha. The round shield magical weapon had not yet been completely brought out, when it was blasted away by Meng Jingxiu's halberd shadow. Zhu Junjie was also hit by the powerful true essence, and was sent flying a dozen meters away. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. If it wasn't for the fact that the square stage was huge, he might have been blasted to the edge of the barrier. You sneak attacked me, Zhu Junjie said angrily. Meng Jingxiu sneered. To deal with you, do I even need to sneak attack? Angry river tide rising. Along with Meng Jingxiu's clear shout, the inexhaustible halberd shadows suddenly formed into a wave, hiding the sky and covering the earth as they rushed towards Zhu Junjie. An incomparably vast killing intent and powerful quintessential essence surged out from these waves. Some of the nearby spectators could feel a chill run down their spines. This halberd technique was too terrifying. All the people who saw this move understood that if Meng Jingxiu had used this sneak attack, then it would have been a real sneak attack. Zhu Junjie would not even have the opportunity to bring out his round shield. When Zhu Junjie saw this move, his face turned pale. At this moment, he did not dare to think of anything else. He raised his hands and a pair of Jinwu golden tiger hooks appeared. Zhu Junjie had already felt that Meng Jingxiu's true essence was much more formidable than his own. So when he brought out the true martial golden tiger hook, he immediately began to crazily revolve his true essence. If possible, he was even willing to burn his true essence. It was the first time that he had encountered such a powerful female cultivator, with the cultivation of true condensation 6th level. Zhu Junjie was at true condensation 8th level, and was selected to represent the Luohua Academy in the 3rd round of the tournament. It was obvious that he was not a person with an undeserved reputation. After he brought out the Jinwu golden tiger hook with all his strength, it also formed a golden hook line after another. But the people with a higher cultivation could see that although Zhu Junjie's golden hook lines were formed one after another, but compared to Meng Jingxiu's halberd shadows that were like a stormy sea, it lacked a kind of imposing manner and a clear level. Boom boom boom. Just like a huge wave crashing against a reef, a powerful impact sound rang out continuously, as the quintessential essence surged out from the platform, causing the restriction around the platform to tremble. Catcha! The golden hook lines formed by Zhu Junjie finally broke apart completely, as the several halberd shadows that were not blocked by the Jinwu golden tiger hook bombarded Zhu Junjie's body. Zhu Junjie was once again sent flying, while at the same time more than a dozen blood stains sprayed out from his body. Plop! Zhu Junjie fell on the edge of the platform, not waiting for Meng Jingxiu to come forward again. He took the initiative to call out, "I admit defeat." At this time Zhu Junjie's entire body was stained with blood, his body was riddled with scars. If he continued to fight, then his life would definitely be in danger. Trembling, he stood up and walked down the platform. For Zhu Junjie, at this time, the most terrible thing was not the injuries on his body, but the fact that he actually admitted defeat after only 2 exchanges. Under so many pairs of eyes, he had not even met 2 exchanges, and had already lost to a woman with a lower cultivation than him. How would he be able to raise his head in the future? On the third huge array formation projection screen, out of the 25 names, Zhu Junjie's name had already disappeared. At the same time, Meng Jingxiu's score also changed from 10 points to 20 points. The Grand Plaza was silent for a good while, before it erupted with a huge cheer. This kind of unexpected result of the match was the most popular. Lu Xian was pleasantly surprised as he muttered to himself, "I really did not expect that Meng Jingxiu would actually win. Does our God Wind Academy still have a chance?" Meng Jingxiu calmly walked down from the platform. It was obvious that the anger that she received from Ningqing a moment ago had already been vented out. She did not mention any names when she came on stage. It was not a challenge or a challenge. Ji Luofei whispered in Ningqing's ear. "This woman is very powerful. If she wants to challenge you, you have to be careful." Ningqing nodded in agreement with Ji Luofei's words. This Meng Jingxiu's moves were indeed very powerful. But to say that she could challenge him, Ningqing thought that Ji Luofei was overestimating her. Even if Meng Jingxiu wanted to challenge him, she would have to wait until the end of the 3rd round. At least she would have to wait until the Godwind Academy did not have any opponents. With Meng Jingxiu's skills, Ningqing believed that she would not be able to persist until then. The top true condensation experts sent by the 5-star academies were absolutely not an opponent like Zhu Junjie. Originally the Godwind Academy was regarded as trash by the people, but because of Meng Jingxiu's first match, it was able to save some face. At least there were no other 5-star academies that were ridiculing Lu Xian. Good. Lu Xian constantly praised Meng Jingxiu. For him, Meng Jingxiu's victory was not just a match. He was ridiculed by the people on the main altar. Now that Meng Jingxiu had won, he was simply too lazy to go up again. Just as the people were talking about Meng Jingxiu from the Godwind Academy, a figure once again landed on the platform. This was a handsome man dressed in white, and he looked extremely elegant. His long dark red hair was casually scattered over his shoulders, which made him look a bit more unruly. If one had to say that he had a flaw in his appearance, then it would be that his nose was slightly hooked. But perhaps in the eyes of some people, it was another kind of strong performance. Some of the young girls had already begun to scream. It could be seen that this white-robed man was really selling out. The white-robed man cupped his fists towards the people around him, and then spoke in a clear voice. Falling Star Academy's Shuiyu, with 10 points, challenges Godwind Academy's Ning Xiaocheng. Shuiyu's words made the already forgotten Ning Xiaocheng once again become a hot topic of discussion. Ning Xiaocheng was the one who had taken the first place in the written test, but in the real tournament he had obtained 11 points in 2 rounds, which caused him to become a joke. At this time, Ning Xiaocheng's cultivation level was also exposed. Although his cultivation level was not bad, it was only at true condensation 3rd level. But for a true condensation 3rd level cultivator to fight against a true condensation 7th level cultivator, the result simply did not need to be guessed. This time Ning Xiaocheng really is courting death. I do not know how he offended Shuiyu of the Shui clan. True condensation 7th level against true condensation 3rd level. You simply do not need to think about the result. Humph. Is Shuiyu of the Shui clan an ordinary true condensation 7th level cultivator? He is the genius of the younger generation of the Shui clan. Moreover, he is also representing the Falling Star Academy in this tournament. Even if it was an ordinary true condensation 9th level cultivator, they would not necessarily be his opponent. This Ning Xiaoqing really knows how to cause trouble. I heard that he had killed Shuiyu's younger brother not long ago. What? No wonder Shuiyu wants to challenge him. This is simply courting death. Humph, I am sure that Ning Xiaoqing will not fight. He will definitely give his points to an expert from the Godwind Academy. That's right, this kind of thing that is courting death. No one would do it. Meng Jingxiu coldly looked at Ning Cheng. This was a sin that he brought upon himself. If she had known that he would have given his points to her, wouldn't everything be fine now? She was waiting for Ning Cheng to come in front of her. Even if he had to give her Ning Cheng's points, at that time she would also ridicule him. Ning Cheng obviously would not beg Meng Jingxiu. He patted the slightly nervous Ji Luofei and said, "Don't worry, it's not like you haven't seen me fight before." There was also a sentence that Ning Cheng did not tell Ji Luofei. Compared to the time when he was in the Thunderfall Desert, he did not know how many times stronger he was. This was not only because his cultivation had advanced to true condensation 3rd level, but more importantly because his meridians had been completely transformed by the mysterious yellow origin. Junior apprentice brother Xiaocheng, if you do not mind, I can help you fight. A man with thick eyebrows came to Ning Cheng's side and cupped his fists as he spoke. After Lu Xian's introduction, Ning Cheng came to know who this person was. He was the strongest person in the true condensation realm in the Godwind Academy, Chuyong Xian. Chuyong Xian's meaning was to let Ning Cheng give his points to him. In this case, Shuiyu would not be qualified to challenge Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng cupped his fists and thanked him. Thank you, senior apprentice brother Chu. I will go by myself. It looks like that guy wants to eat people. I will take the initiative to let him eat. Saying that, Ning Cheng smiled at Ji Luofei as he carried his spear on his back and slowly walked towards the platform. Meng Jingxiu looked at Ning Cheng's back in doubt. She really did not think that Ning Cheng would dare to fight on his own. Was it really true that the ignorant were fearless? Seeing Ning Cheng approaching the platform, she was somewhat speechless as she shook her head and said, I actually care about such a stupid person. Hey, that Ning Xiaocheng is really going to fight. I know him. The one walking on the platform is Ning Xiaocheng. There really is a guy who takes the initiative to court death. Seeing Ning Cheng walking on the platform, a surprised voice sounded out. I guess that he is still thinking about whether or not he would be able to amaze the world with a single brilliant feat like he did in the written test. Humph, that is just a dream. It is not necessarily a dream. Maybe when Ning Xiaocheng came on stage, that Falling Star Academy's Shuiyu suddenly fell asleep. Then Ning Xiaocheng would easily win. You are courting death, daring to tease Shuiyu. If the Shui clan people heard you, then you are dead for sure. There were all kinds of opinions, but none of them were optimistic that Ning Cheng would be able to defeat Shuiyu. Chapter 113. Unexpectedly you have the courage to come up and die. I really underestimated you. Shuiyu stared at Ning Cheng as he walked up the platform and spoke in a light voice. Carrying such a broken spear, it must have been hard on you. Shuiyu's eyes swept over the broken spear on Ning Cheng's back, as his mouth revealed a trace of sarcasm. How could his eyes not see that Ning Cheng's spear was only a low-grade artifact? Although he challenged Ning Cheng on the platform, but he did not think that Ning Cheng would come up. His plan was that Ning Cheng would definitely not dare to come up. As long as Ning Cheng did not come up on the platform, his goal would be achieved. A guy who was afraid to fight, even if his cultivation was low, would immediately be shamed, and no one would look up to Ning Cheng. The reason why the Godwind Academy had not said anything until now was because they wanted to maintain the face of a 5-star academy. Otherwise, Ning Cheng only scored 11 points in the 2 rounds. The Godwind Academy would definitely not give Ning Cheng a good look. Once Ning Cheng was afraid to fight, then the Godwind Academy would no longer protect Ning Cheng. Even if Ning Cheng was killed, No one would say anything about the Godwind Academy. For a disciple who was afraid to fight, the academy did not take the initiative to punish him. It was already considered a kindness. Why would they care about who killed Ningcheng? Xueyu's idea was that Ningcheng was afraid to fight, and then he would take Ningcheng away and kill him afterwards. You actually have the courage to challenge your grandfather. I really underestimated you. Ningcheng said as if he did not care about it. Xueyu's mouth revealed a trace of imperceptible sarcasm. Ningcheng, you can rush to the Hua continent from the Ping continent. It seems that you have some ability, but unfortunately your eyes are not big. If you had persuaded Luo Fei to come to my Shui clan to make amends, then perhaps you could have kept your dog life. Now I not only want to kill you, but I also have no interest in that Ji Luo Fei. Do you know how I will deal with that Ji Luo Fei when I get back? You can't think of it, she will have a lot. Pa. Xueyu simply did not put Ningcheng in his eyes. When he spoke, he even forgot that his head was already within Ningcheng's reach. He never thought that Ningcheng would dare to slap him in the face. Moreover, he would even be able to slap him in the face. Pa, a sound emerged. Ningcheng did not hold back at all. If he was not afraid that Xueyu would be alerted, he would not have gathered his true essence. As such, half of Xueyu's face would have been turned into nothingness by Ningcheng's slap. Even if that was the case, half of Xueyu's face had already been slapped off by Ningcheng, as more than a dozen teeth and the skin on his face splashed out. I'm going to swallow you. Xueyu's eyes immediately became ferocious. He raised his hand and waved a pair of black giant scissors. As soon as the giant scissors appeared, it was like an overwhelming dark cloud, completely enveloping the entire competition stage. Even the onlookers felt a chill run down their spines. It was as if the giant scissors were cutting at them. The berserk true essence and killing intent swept across the entire battle platform. It could be seen that Xueyu's desire to kill Ningcheng was very strong. Compared to Meng Jingxiu's halberd shadows from a while ago, this pair of giant scissors was incomparably fast. It made people think that in the next moment, everything on the tournament stage would be completely cut into pieces by this pair of giant scissors. All the people knew that even if Ningcheng's speed was fast, he would not be able to bring out the spear on his back in front of this berserk pair of giant scissors. Facing this terrifying pair of giant scissors, Ningcheng really did not bring out his spear. It was not that Ningcheng did not have enough time to bring it out, but rather Ningcheng did not intend to bring out his spear. He just chopped out with his fist. Xueyu was not worthy enough for him to bring out his spear. That's right, he really chopped out. Axe fist. This was something that Ningcheng had comprehended from the axe trace's killing intent in the Dawn Forest, but unfortunately he did not have an axe, and could only use his axe fist. This was not the first time that Ningcheng had used his axe fist. He had already used his axe fist several times, and every time he used it, he could feel that the might of his axe fist was rising. A bitter killing intent erupted out from Ningcheng's body, and instantly filled the space between him and Xueyu. Xueyu did not feel Ningcheng's fist, but he felt a huge axe falling down from the top of his head, directly chopping towards his pair of giant scissors. Such a terrifying killing intent. That's not right, this was an axe intent. But he obviously did not see Ningcheng use his axe. If he did not use his axe, then how could he use his axe intent? But he could feel a very strong axe-type killing intent. The giant scissors' berserk silhouette paused for a moment, and then collided with Ningcheng's axe fist's killing intent. Kaka. It was as if a pair of scissors had cut into steel, as a burst of ear-piercing grinding sounds resounded. Boom. The berserk true essence in the axe fist's killing intent, and the giant scissors exploded. Xueyu, along with his pair of giant scissors, were blown back a few dozen meters away. Only then was he barely able to stand. Ningcheng felt that his true essence was surging, but under the operation of his true essence, the surging true essence immediately subsided. Most of the people who were watching the fight outside the ring stood up in shock. Even some of the experts on the main altar and the judges were surprised and subconsciously stretched out their necks. No one could have thought that this would be the result. Previously, when Ningcheng had slapped Xueyu in the face, it had already made all of them unable to believe it. But now that they were facing each other head-on in a head-on battle, it made everyone subvert their original views. Unexpectedly, they are evenly matched? Some people began to talk. Humph, evenly matched? You are dreaming. That Shuai was slapped by Ning Xiaocheng in the face, and has already fallen into a disadvantageous position. That move from Shuai a moment ago was filled with anger, but Ning Cheng hastily punched out. He did not even use the spear on his back. Do you still think that who has the upper hand? It is indeed Ning Xiaocheng who has won. I did not think that this Ning Xiaocheng, who is only at true condensation 3rd level, would unexpectedly be so powerful. He should not have deliberately lost in the first 2 rounds. And then in the 3rd round he would make people sit up and take notice of him, right? Don't talk nonsense. If it was given to you, would you deliberately lose? There were all kinds of discussions, but no one said that Ning Xiaocheng was courting death. But no one knew that there were really some people who were talking about Ning Cheng deliberately losing in the 1st and 2nd rounds. Lu Xian once again stood up excitedly. He did not think that Ning Cheng would be so powerful. That punch a moment ago unexpectedly had a strong axe-type killing intent, but unfortunately Ning Cheng did not have an axe. If Ning Cheng had an axe, then with that axe of his, even if Shuai did not die, he would be seriously injured. Even the dignified-looking man who was presiding over the 1st and 2nd rounds of the tournament, who was sitting on the main altar, also opened his eyes. With their cultivation level, when Ning Cheng's axe fist came out, they were able to see that it was a punch that contained the axe-type killing intent. If one did not have enough comprehension ability, then they absolutely would not be able to throw out such a punch. The dignified-looking man stared at Ning Cheng for a while. It was reasonable to say that this Ning Xiaocheng was able to comprehend the axe-type killing intent, so in the 2nd round of the tournament, he should not have only scored a single point. What kind of spiritual root does this Ning Xiaocheng have? The dignified-looking man suddenly asked. At this time Lu Xian was not on the main altar, but there was a female cultivator from the God Wind Academy with the cultivation of essence-building realm. When she heard the dignified-looking man's question, she quickly took back the surprise in her eyes, and stepped forward and respectfully said, Ning Xiaocheng's memory is extremely powerful, but his spiritual root is actually a hybrid spiritual root. Before in the Dawn Forest he had come across a spiritual essence spring pond, and because of that opportunity, he was able to advance to the early stages of the true condensation realm. The dignified-looking man nodded. After listening to the words of this female cultivator, he finally understood why Ning Cheng only scored a single point in the comprehension ability test. In the 2nd round of the tournament, those who were able to see multiple images were either pure spiritual roots, or variant spiritual roots. Ordinary people with multiple spiritual roots could only see a single image. If they could only see a single image, then even if their comprehension ability was even stronger, they would not be able to comprehend the contents of the images. As for hearing that Ning Cheng had come across a spiritual essence spring in the Dawn Forest, he did not care about it. Since he had come across a spiritual essence spring, then after cultivating for a few years, it would not be strange for him to advance to the true condensation realm. If he knew that Ning Cheng had only come from the Dawn Forest a few months ago, then perhaps he would not have thought like this. Hey, I have once again made an error in judgment. Ling Naixin from the Thunder Academy stared at Ning Cheng in bewilderment. She suddenly felt that she had misjudged Ning Cheng twice. She could no longer see through Ning Cheng. Such a powerful person. How could he only score a single point in the 2nd round of the tournament? Shuai is not this person's opponent. Quickly tell Shuai to admit defeat. In the Shuai clan station, an old man, after seeing Shuai suffer a loss, his complexion changed as he stood up and spoke. His voice had just fallen, when Shuai once again rushed towards Ning Cheng. At this time, Shuai's heart was filled with anger and grievance. He was the dignified genius of the Shuai clan, but he unexpectedly lost to an outsider at the early stages of the true condensation realm. If this was spread out, then how would he, Shuai, have the face to see anyone? This time he almost completely stimulated his giant scissors. The huge silhouette immediately separated, forming 2 silhouettes, one on the left and one on the right, cutting towards Ning Cheng. The 2 silhouettes on the left and right had not yet reached Ning Cheng, when they once again divided into 4 silhouettes. In the end, the entire ring was almost filled with silhouettes. Just like an arrow at the end of its flight, Ning Cheng sneered. Shuai's fighting spirit had already been hit, and was already in chaos. These countless silhouettes blasted out. It was indeed a powerful magical skill, but unfortunately, Shueyu's fighting spirit was in chaos. Moreover, his true essence was also not enough. These silhouettes that were blasted out were just an empty shell. If Shueyu could adjust his mentality, then he could continue to fight with him for a while. But now, Ningcheng did not even put him in his eyes. Ningcheng still did not bring out his spear, not to mention bringing out his 7 Pleiades ice needle. He just blasted out a few punches in succession. This was the axe fist that he temporarily simulated according to the countless silhouettes of Shueyu. The axe fist shadow, under the stimulation of Ningcheng's true essence, was blasted out by Ningcheng. From the moment it appeared, in just a breath, it was already comparable to the silhouettes. Pa 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 pa. The axe fist shadow and the silhouettes collided together. The true essence exploded out with a series of sounds. These sounds seemed to have an astonishing momentum, but the people who understood it understood that the might of this confrontation was simply not as good as the previous giant scissors and Ningcheng's fist. Gotcha. After the countless silhouettes dissipated, Shueyu finally woke up. He knew that he was not Ningcheng's opponent. If he continued to fight, then he would die without a doubt. I admit. Shueyu had not finished his words. Ningcheng had already leapt up and punched out with all his strength. How could he let Shueyu say the word, admit defeat? Chapter 114. Not to mention that at this time Shueyu had completely lost his fighting spirit. Even if Shueyu's fighting spirit was high, he would not be able to completely block Ningcheng's fist that had been accumulating power for a long time. However, if his fighting spirit was high, then Ningcheng's punch would not have been able to kill him. Bang! Shueyu was hit by Ningcheng's fist, causing his entire upper dantian to burst open. Then he fell to the ground like a dead fish. Little bastard. You actually dared to kill Shueyu. This old man will split you. As Shueyu was killed by Ningcheng's fist, an angry voice tore through the air, while simultaneously a gray shadow rushed towards the platform like a lightning bolt. The Shui clan was used to running amok in the Moze city. Other than a little fear towards the Falling Star Academy, they basically did not have any scruples. Moreover, Shueyu was the future of the next generation of the Shui family. For such a person to be directly killed by Ningcheng on the stage, the Shui family was unable to accept it for a while. It was a pity that this elder of the Shui family had forgotten what this competition was, and who was the host. He hadn't even reached the edge of the stage when an overwhelming pressure came crashing down on him. This Shui clan elder suddenly sobered up. This was not an ordinary tournament, but rather the tournament for the 6-star academies hosted by the masters of the intermediate class continents. He actually dared to rush onto the stage in this kind of competition. Wasn't that just courting death? Cold sweat flowed down his back. Before he could step back and apologize, a huge palm had already struck down. PFFF. Another blood mist sprayed out. This elder of the Shui family didn't even have the chance to resist, and was directly turned into a blood mist by the huge palm. What audacity! A mere ant actually dares to charge into the battle arena. Only then did everyone hear the old man who was hosting the third round sneer. His figure once again landed on the main altar. The onlookers in the public square immediately sucked in a mouthful of cold air. The elder of the Shui clan was a cultivator in the essence-building realm. In front of this old man from an intermediate class continent, such a master could not even dodge a single slap. Some of the people who had not paid much attention to the experts from the intermediate class continents, at this time, felt a chill run down their spines. These people had not made a move, not because they had a good temper, but because no one had dared to offend them yet. Now that someone from the Shui family dared to offend them, they were immediately killed. This kind of decisive style was extremely shocking. Even the shock of Ningcheng killing Shueyu, when compared to this kind of shock, seemed a bit weak. Although Ningcheng appeared calm on the surface, but his heart was similarly shaken. He had seen experts before, and that old woman was one of them. However, because the old woman didn't do anything to him, he didn't really care about her. Only now did he realize how far apart he was from those experts. Just now, when the old man who presided over the competition struck out with his palm, he clearly saw that the immense killing intent had directly stirred up the surrounding killing intent. That killing intent was clearly not directed at him, but he still felt a sense of powerlessness to resist. If that slap was aimed at him, he could only wait for death. Sure enough, without strength, everything was in vain. This old man was definitely a profound core cultivator, but Ning Cheng had heard that the Shui clan had a profound core cultivator. If this Shui clan's expert with the cultivation of profound core realm wanted to kill him, then he would not even have the opportunity to resist, let alone escape. Strength, he must have strength. Ning Cheng clenched his fists. He made up his mind. Even if he disdained to pay any price, he had to improve his cultivation as soon as possible. He absolutely could not wait for death. The God Wind Academy would not be able to protect him for a lifetime. What's more, he also knew that if this Shui clan's expert decided to attack him, then even the God Wind Academy would not be able to protect him. Ning Cheng slowly sighed. As he put away Shui Yu's things, he raised his hand and immediately used a fireball to burn Shui Yu to ashes. Since he had already offended them, then he did not need to retreat even half a bit. Seeing Ning Cheng slowly walking down from the platform, the incomparably quiet Grand Plaza suddenly burst into a burst of noise. Ning Cheng not only killed Shui Yu, but also directly turned Shui Yu into ashes. This kind of courage and strength, before this, who could even think of it? At this time the score on the projection array formation screen had once again changed. Ning Cheng's score was now 20 points, while Shui Yu's name had disappeared. At the same time, there were also 7 or 8 other names that disappeared. But their names had disappeared, it was just that their scores were given to the other cultivators from the same academy for free. For the people in the Grand Plaza, these things were not important. The most shocking thing was that a true condensation 3rd level cultivator unexpectedly killed a true condensation 7th level cultivator, Shui Yu. This was certainly because Shui Yu had just advanced to the true condensation 7th level, and his cultivation was not stable. But the main reason was that this true condensation 3rd level cultivator was too ferocious and terrifying. Lu Xian was pleasantly surprised as he looked at Ning Cheng, who was walking down from the platform. He did not think that Ning Cheng would be this powerful, to even kill a true condensation 7th level cultivator like Shui Yu. After Meng Jingxiu, this was the second surprise that he had received. Did the God Wind Academy really have a chance to enter the top ranks? Meng Jingxiu pursed her lips and said with some disapproval, "That Shui Yu is not worthy of his name. When the experts from the Falling Star Academy challenge us, humph." When Lu Xian heard Meng Jingxiu's words, he did not answer. He certainly knew more than Meng Jingxiu. Although Shui Yu was a disciple of the Falling Star Academy, but he was after all a member of the Shui clan. To say that the people from the Falling Star Academy would stand up for Shui Yu, he simply did not believe it. As for Meng Jingxiu saying that Shui Yu was not worthy of his name, he also thought that Shui Yu had just advanced to the late stages of the true condensation realm, and his cultivation had not solidified. The reason why he asked for a spot was because he wanted to kill Ning Cheng. But he did not think that Ning Cheng would not be able to kill him, but would instead send himself out. Alas, this Shui Yu is really not worthy of his name. He has such a big reputation. A deacon from the Falling Star Academy saw that Shui Yu was killed, and was somewhat speechless as he shook his head. He is an elite of the Shui clan. Usually the others would give in to him. Over time, he developed a habit of being a master. Even he himself is not aware of it. But the fact is that he is a master who relies on pills. How high can he be? Someone from the side said with a sneer. Meng Yujing was also the representative of the Falling Star Academy. After Ning Cheng killed Shui Yu, she had been staring at Ning Cheng. She always felt that Ning Cheng was somewhat familiar, but she could not remember what it was that was familiar to her. Although Shui Yu is unbearable, but this Ning Xiaocheng is definitely a guy who plays the pig to eat the tiger. As for why his results in the first 2 rounds were so bad, perhaps there is a reason for it. Qi Ziwan, Meng Yujing, although our Falling Star Academy is temporarily ranked first, but in the last round of the tournament, the experts from the various academies are like clouds in the sky. But for us to get points, we will have to rely on the 2 of you. You must be careful. Especially that Ning Xiaocheng. You have to pay even more attention to him. A cultivator with the cultivation of profound congealing realm from the Falling Star Academy stood up. and spoke to the two young man and woman beside him in a dignified manner. Yes, Master Lian. The young male cultivator quickly nodded. He was the strongest cultivator in the true condensation realm of the Falling Star Academy, called Qi Zi1. The Falling Star Academy was mainly relying on him for the third round. Meng Yujing suddenly came to her senses. She finally remembered who this Ning Xiaocheng who killed Shui Yu was. A few days ago when Xi and Chu Ping were leaving the Moze city, there seemed to be a person overtaking them, but then that person seemed to have something to do, and was overtaken by them. At that time she had some thoughts. Plus there were a lot of people coming and going on the road, so she did not care about that person, and just casually glanced at him. But now she finally remembered, that person was Ning Xiaocheng. Meng Yujing knew that that person was Ning Xiaocheng, and then associated it with the fact that Ning Xiaocheng deliberately fell behind her. How could she not know that Ning Xiaocheng was following her? Meng Yujing's face turned cold. She did not think that she would unexpectedly be followed. Every time she went out, she was very careful. Moreover, when she went to that mountain village hut, she was even more cautious. She was confident that even if it was a cultivator in the essence building realm, they would not necessarily be able to follow her to the vicinity of that hut. But on that day she had a feeling that she was being spied on. Could it be that Ning Xiaocheng was able to follow her to the outside of that hut to peep at her? Whether it was true or not, this person could not be allowed to live. She certainly did not know that the reason why Ning Xiaocheng was able to get to the outside of that hut without being discovered by her was mainly because of that old woman. In the third round of the tournament, there were 2 matches, both of which were fought by the people from the God Wind Academy, and both of them won. As far as the score of the third round was concerned, the God Wind Academy already had 70 points, which was ahead of the other 4 academies. The discussions about Ning Cheng in the square finally stopped when the third cultivator stepped onto the platform. This cultivator was very strong and tall. His strong body was almost bursting out of the cultivator robes that he was wearing. This was a guy at the true condensation 9th level. Ning Cheng was able to see his cultivation level from a distance. Clear Sky Academy's Yuan Jian, with 10 points, I would like to consult the various experts. The strong cultivator smiled as he cupped his fists and turned around in a circle. At least he did not look annoying. Yuan Jian's voice had just fallen when someone quickly flew onto the platform. This person was also a tall male cultivator. After he stepped onto the platform, he directly brought out his magical weapon and said, I am Guyi from the Thunder Academy, and also with 10 points. While speaking, Guyi also brought out his magical weapon, bringing out a dense sword curtain. Yuan Jian did not seem to have thought that Guyi would immediately start fighting, but he was not even half a bit nervous, as he brought out his magical weapon, which was a copper pestle. Chapter 115. Guye's words immediately caused an uproar. In the previous 2 matches, it was the winner who went down to rest. Unexpectedly, Thunderclap Academy's Guyi not only didn't rest, he didn't even take a breath, continuing to challenge. This was too awesome. Not only was it awesome, but it was also incomparably domineering. Just imagine, the corpse of the Clear Sky Academy's Yuan Jian was still lying on the stage bleeding, while he continued to challenge. This kind of confidence won the support of the people. Sure enough, when Guyi immediately challenged the God Wind Academy, the audience outside the platform immediately cheered. There is no sympathy here, no pity. Yuan Jian was killed because he was not strong enough. No one would grieve over a dead man. Coming here to watch the competition, they wanted to see the excitement, and they wanted to see the passion. Ning Cheng frowned. Chuyong Xian was also from the God Wind Academy, and he had heard that he was the strongest expert in the true condensation realm of the God Wind Academy, and was also one of the main forces in the third round. Ning Cheng did not know about Chuyong Xian's strength, but he knew that Guye's sword skill, which had transformed the countless sword curtains into a giant sword, was extremely powerful. If he was in a hurry, it would be hard for him to dodge. Of course, now that he knew this guy had this ability, he wasn't afraid. Ning Cheng still had a good impression of Chuyong Xian. Before this, Chuyong Xian was worried about him, and took the initiative to help him deal with Shui Yu. Ning Cheng had just thought of this, when he saw Chuyong Xian walking towards him. Junior apprentice brother Ning, I did not think that you would turn out to be so powerful. I have enmity with that Guyi, and he is vicious and merciless. Previously, he had used a new sword skill to kill Yuan Jian. It was definitely not just this move. I don't have the confidence to defeat him. Senior apprentice Brother Chu, if you do not mind, I am willing to help you kill him. Ningcheng thought that Chu Yong Xian was looking for his help, and immediately took the initiative to speak up. Previously, Chu Yong Xian had wanted to fight for him. Now he was going to fight for Chu Yong Xian without any hesitation. Chu Yong Xian showed a faint smile. Junior apprentice Brother Ning, just like you, I will not be afraid to fight. I looked for you not to ask for your help, but because I'm not confident. Once I lose, I will definitely be killed by this person. I also have a younger brother in the Godwind Academy, called Chu Yongren. If something happens to me, I hope you can help me look after him. Senior apprentice Brother Chu, rest assured. Ningcheng spoke without hesitation. He knew that Chu Yong Xian was very optimistic about him. It was precisely because of this that he said such words. Chu Yong Xian nodded and strode towards the stage. However, before Chu Yong Xian could reach the stage, a figure landed on the side of the stage in front of him. Immediately after, this person turned to Guyi and spoke in a cold voice. Guyi, I'm afraid that you will die at the hands of others, so I want to challenge you first. If you don't dare to accept, I will retreat immediately. Ha ha ha, I Guyi would not be afraid of a trivial true condensation 8th level junior like you. If I kill you and then kill that Chu Yong Xian, then it would only take the time it takes to brew a cup of tea. Hearing that this person wanted to be the first to challenge him, Guyi laughed, and did not care even half a bit about it. Guyi's words caused a lot of people to be dissatisfied. He could be arrogant, but this was too arrogant. He himself was only at the true condensation 9th level, so why would he call a junior at the true condensation 8th level? He simply didn't know what he was doing. The challenger did not mind being called a junior by Guyi. Instead, he turned towards Chu Yong Xian, cupped his fists and said, Brother Chu, I want to take revenge for senior brother Yuan. Can I ask Brother Chu to let me have this puppet? Chu Yong Xian laughed and said, If Brother Situ wants to take revenge, then please go ahead. This Chu Yong Xian is willing to cheer for Brother Situ. Seeing Chu Yong Xian retreat, Ningcheng was slightly relieved. He had a hunch that Chu Yong Xian was not Guyi's opponent. Regarding the person who challenged Guyi, Ningcheng also knew that it was Situ from the Clear Sky Academy. He had the cultivation of true condensation 8th level, and had obtained 45 points in the first round of the written exam, which was considered a good score. He was also the one who obtained the score for the Clear Sky Academy in the second round. At this point in the tournament, the contestants from the several academies were already filled with the smell of gunpowder. Guyi directly said that he would kill Situ first and then kill Chu Yong Xian, but Situ directly said that he wanted to take revenge. There was simply no need for him to participate in the tournament. This kind of bloody tournament was full of conflict and killing, which aroused the passion of the spectators. But the old man who presided over the tournament acted as if he did not see it. For him, it did not matter who died or who lived. The most important thing was who got how many points. After Situ came to the stage, he first cupped his fists towards the surrounding people and said, Clear Sky Academy's Situ, with 40 points, challenges Guyi. Situ finished. He did not wait for Guyi to speak, as both of his hands covered the sky as he rushed towards Guyi. This was the first time that someone had brought a person with more than 10 points to the stage. Moreover, it was a challenger. As soon as the spectators heard this, they immediately understood what was going on. The Clear Sky Academy's main fighting force in the third round was Situ and Yuan Jian. As such, the rest of the people's points were all given to Situ. Now that Yuan Jian was killed, if Situ also lost, then the Clear Sky Academy would be eliminated early. As soon as Situ made his move, Ningcheng knew that this person was not a simple person. This person's cultivation was definitely much stronger than Yuan Jian. No wonder the Clear Sky Academy wanted to give all their points to Situ. Situ seemed to have covered the sky with his hands, but in fact the people with a strong spiritual consciousness could clearly see that Situ had brought out a big net. Moreover, this net was light-colored, and under the cover of the hands that were covering the sky, they could not see it clearly. Gu Yi and Situyu stood opposite to each other. When Situyu brought out a big net, he was the first to feel it, and once again brought out a dense sword curtain with the long sword in his hands. But this time when the sword curtain met Situyu's big net, it was not as easy as when he had fought against Yuan Jian. The light of the sword curtain was blocked by the big net, and was only faintly discernible, and was simply unable to completely break out. Gu Yi was in the middle of the fight. Of course he was aware of his own situation. His sword curtain was already bound by the opposite party's big net magical weapon. For him, if he could not get rid of the opposite party's big net in the shortest possible time, and free himself from his own sword, then he would definitely lose without a doubt. Gu Yi was anxious to get rid of the opposite party's big net magical weapon, and was no longer able to take advantage of the opportunity. The sword curtain around him gave out a burst of whistling sounds, and in a twinkling of an eye gathered together. Just like the fight with Yuan Jian, this large sword curtain, after it gathered together, immediately formed a huge wide sword. But this time the huge wide sword was not able to hit Situyu's body, and was still bound by Situyu's big net. The huge sword struggled in the big net, but for a while it was unexpectedly unable to break free from the big net. Gu Ye's heart sank. He did not think that Situyu's big net would be so strong. He did not wait for him to continue with the next sword skill, when a stream of light shot out from Situyu's hands. The moment the stream of light came out, it immediately shrouded the entire battle ring. Even though he was so far away, he could still feel the heat coming from it. Boom! Gu Yi hastily brought out a round shield, but it was immediately hit by the stream of light. Because the round shield had not been completely brought out, after it was hit by the stream of light, it immediately cracked. Gu Yi quickly retreated, but at this time, the speed of the stream of light was even faster than the stream of light, and suddenly shot out from under Gu Ye's feet. With a light sound, Situyu's feet were directly taken away by the rainbow, but at this time the stream of light had bypassed the round shield, and continued to hit Gu Ye's body. Not long ago, Gu Yi was incomparably arrogant when he beheaded the Clear Sky Academy's Yuan Jian, but now the expression of panic on his face had not even had the time to form, when he was blasted into ashes by Situyu's stream of light. The smoothness and speed of the fight made the people's eyes dazzled. By the time the people could see clearly, Gu Yi had already been killed. There was a moment of silence in the plaza, but then immediately a loud roar broke out. Ning Cheng frowned as he stared at Situyu. This Situyu was just too powerful. This person was not only strong, but he was also very cautious. Every step of the Thunder Academy's Gu Ye's reaction was within his calculations. Moreover, he had even arranged the rainbow in advance for a sneak attack. Even he couldn't tell what the rainbow that had successfully launched a sneak attack was. At this time on the array formation projection screen of the third round, Situyu's score had already changed to 60 points, while Gu Ye's name had already disappeared without a trace. Situyu calmly put away his spoils of war, and took Yuan Jian's body down from the platform, and once again returned to the Clear Sky Academy's encampment. But Gu Ye's body had just turned into a pile of ash, and no one went to collect it. Elder brother Ning, with my cultivation, I'm afraid that it will be very difficult for me to beat those people. I want to leave my score to you. Min Rue of the God Wind Academy, after seeing the last few bloody fights, was already somewhat nervous in his heart. He was very clear about his own cultivation. If he wanted to win a match on the platform, then it would be extremely difficult. Lu Xian came over, and nodded and said, "What Min Rue said is right. Since we have Ning Cheng and Meng Jingxiu, your choice is the right one." Meng Jingxiu pursed her lips at the side. It was obvious that Min Rue did not give his score to her, and was somewhat uncomfortable in her heart. Ning Cheng had won a match, but she had also won a match. Moreover, her opponent was at true condensation 8th level, while Ning Cheng's opponent was just a guy who had just advanced to true condensation 7th level. After talking to Min Rue, Lu Xian looked at Gu Hong, who was at true condensation 8th level, and asked, "Gu Hong, what do you think?" Gu Hong simply said, "Deacon Lu, I decided to go up and give it a try. If I don't give it a try, then I will not be reconciled in my heart." Gu Hong finished, cupped his fists towards Lu Xian, and quickly walked out of the God Wind Academy's encampment, and landed on the platform, and then spoke in a clear voice, God Wind Academy's Gu Hong, along with 10 of the outstanding heroes of the branch. A moment ago, Gu Yi had killed Yuan Jian, but in the blink of an eye, he was killed by Situyu. The restlessness of the crowd had not yet subsided. When Gu Hong once again stepped onto the platform, it immediately attracted everyone's attention. It was not because Gu Hong was famous, nor was it because Gu Hong's cultivation was high. In terms of cultivation, Gu Hong was only at true condensation 8th level. The reason why the people under the platform were paying attention to Gu Hong was because Gu Hong was also from the God Wind Academy. Moreover, he was by far the person with the highest cultivation from the God Wind Academy on the platform. In the previous 2 matches of the God Wind Academy, whether it was Meng Xiuwen who was at true condensation 6th level, or Ning Xiaocheng who was at true condensation 3rd level, both of them easily won. Therefore, when Gu Hong from the God Wind Academy who was at true condensation 8th level stepped onto the platform, it immediately attracted a lot of attention. Chapter 116. However, Ning Cheng was not optimistic about Gu Hong. He whispered to Ji Luofei beside him, Luofei, before I thought that with my cultivation, if I tried everything I could to escape, then I would be able to protect myself. Previously, when I saw that profound core cultivator easily slap the essence-building elder of the Shui clan to death, I knew that my way of thinking was wrong. With my cultivation, not only can I not protect myself, but I'm still an ant-like existence here. Ji Luofei tightly grasped Ning Cheng's hand. She had always been worried about the Shui clan. Although Ning Cheng was powerful, but he only had the cultivation of true condensation 3rd level, while she was only at Qi gathering 6th level. The difference between them was simply too great. Luofei, originally I did not care much about the Angry Axe Valley, but this time I must obtain the quota to go to the Angry Axe Valley. Only when I'm strong enough can I have a say in this. Speaking till here, Ning Cheng also held Ji Luofei's hand, as he looked at Ji Luofei and said, Luofei, after this great meet, I estimate that the people from the intermediate class continents will immediately leave the Hua continent with 20 quotas to participate in the Angry Axe Valley. Although I have a way to let you pass, but your cultivation is too low. As such, I do not know anything about the situation inside the Angry Axe Valley. So I hope that you can hide in the God Wind Academy and go into closed-door cultivation. Deacon Lu promised me that I would have a separate immortal cave in the God Wind Academy. You can stay in this immortal cave for the time being, and wait for me to come back. Ji Luofei gave an sound and said, I understand, you can go to the Angry Axe Valley, I will wait for you in the God Wind Academy. Ji Luofei also secretly made up her mind. She decided to cultivate diligently, in order to shorten the distance between her and Ning Cheng as soon as possible. She was very clear about Ning Cheng's thoughts. The God Wind Academy was not a place for them to retire. If they wanted to live in this place with dignity, then they would have to improve their own strength. She had experienced too many things since she came from the Chongqing province. God Wind Academy, hee. It sounds very awe-inspiring. I, Lian Hao, would like to meet you. A lazy voice was heard, and then a man with black hair and triangular-shaped eyes landed on the platform. After this man landed on the platform, he glanced at Gu Hong and said, Originally I wanted to complete junior brother Gu Ye's idea, and first get rid of Chu Yong Xian, and then get rid of Situyu. But since you want to come up and court death first, I will help you. Although 10 points was not much, it was still a point. Remember, I went on stage with 20 points. You got lucky. When Gu Hong heard that Lian Hao didn't even put him in his eyes, his face turned red with anger. He didn't even speak, and the violent tiger spade in his hand had already been blasted out. At the same time that Gu Hong made his move, Lian Hao also raised his hand, bringing out a huge seal. In the blink of an eye, the huge seal expanded to a radius of nearly 10 feet and blasted towards Gu Hong. Anyone who had cultivated before would know that magic treasures that did not seem to have much lethality on the surface would often have much greater offensive power. However, it also required a more powerful spiritual sense or spiritual sense. As for cultivators with weaker spiritual sense, they would usually choose magic artifacts such as sabers, swords, spears, and so on. Of course, this was not absolute. Once a magic treasure reached a certain level, it could not be judged by its outer appearance. But for the cultivators of the true condensation realm, using the appearance of the magic weapon to judge the strength of the cultivator's spiritual sense was the most intuitive. Boom. Kacha! The giant seal smashed into Gu Hong's violent tiger spade, directly scattering the true essence surrounding the violent tiger spade. In just a single moment, Gu Hong was blasted back dozens of meters, as he spat out a few mouthfuls of blood in the air. If not for his violent tiger spade, then he would have lost half of his life. He was definitely not this person's opponent. Gu Hong's heart turned cold, as he quickly admitted defeat. But he immediately discovered that his voice was unexpectedly suppressed by the true essence of the giant seal, as he was simply unable to make any sound. Lian Hao wanted to kill him. Gu Hong immediately understood this point in his heart. At this time he felt endless regret in his heart. He absolutely should not have come up to the stage to show off. This was not something that he could show off. This was equivalent to throwing away his life. If he did not have the strength, then he simply would not be able to come up to the stage to fight. At this time, Lian Hao's giant seal had already smashed down for the second time. Gu Hong suppressed the fear in his heart, and once again brought out the violent tiger spade. Perhaps it was because he was in a desperate situation. But his true essence was much more powerful than usual. This time the violent tiger spade exploded in the air around it, as it directly bombarded the giant seal. Ka! Once again a crisp sound rang out, as Gu Hong was hit by the giant seal and fell on the stage, as he opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. This time Lian Hao did not give Gu Hong any opportunity, as he rushed forward and stepped on Gu Hong's chest. Gu Hong's chest caved in from Lian Hao's foot. He wanted to raise his head and ask why he was not allowed to admit defeat, but unfortunately, he no longer had the strength to do so. His head was only raised halfway, before it completely drooped down on the stage. When Gu Hong was pushed back for the first time, all the people could see that he was going to lose. Moreover, some of them could see that Lian Hao's true essence was preventing Gu Hong from admitting defeat. But no one dared to step forward to stop Lian Hao from continuing. With the example of the Shui clan's essence-building elder, no one dared to make even the slightest excessive move in the tournament. Ningqing frowned. He had killed Shuiyu. It was because Shuiyu wanted to kill him, but Gu Hong had already surrendered. Moreover, he and Lian Hao did not have any great enmity between them. So why did Lian Hao want to kill Gu Hong? Moreover, in these few matches, besides Meng Jingxiu's first opponent who was still alive, the rest were all killed. How was this a tournament? This was a duel of life and death. The people in the public square were also aware of the bloody atmosphere of the five-star tournament, but this bloody atmosphere only brought out more fanatical noise. The people who came to watch the tournament only hoped that the tournament would be more bloody. No one wanted the tournament to be as plain as water, without even half a ripple. The people who came to the stage were the elite disciples of the various academies. To see the bloody fight between the elite disciples was the main purpose of most of the people who came here. After Lian Hao killed Gu Hong, he unexpectedly was just like Gu Yi. He did not step down from the stage, but continued to stand on the stage and said without any expression on his face, Thunder Academy's Lian Hao challenges Godwind Academy's Chu Yong Xian with 30 points. Lu Xian could not help but immediately said to Chu Yong Xian, Nephew Yong Xian, you are not Lian Hao's opponent. Chu Yong Xian cupped his fists towards Lu Xian and said, Deacon Lu, even if I lose, I still have to go up and try. Otherwise, if I lose without even fighting, it would leave a mark in my heart. At the last moment, I will admit defeat in advance. I ask Deacon Lu to rest assured. Deacon Lu, we in the Thunder Academy do not have much of a grudge. Moreover, that Gu Yi was not killed by my Godwind Academy. Why does that Lian Hao have to go against our Godwind Academy? Another essence-building realm cultivator from the Godwind Academy asked Lian Hao to challenge the Godwind Academy one after another, and was very puzzled. Lu Xian stared at Lian Hao, and spoke in a slow voice. I also do not understand the reason. It stands to reason that even if he wanted to challenge, he would have challenged Situyu. While the few people were talking, Lian Hao and Chu Yong Xian had already started fighting on the stage. Lian Hao's giant seal rolled out, and almost the entire battle stage was covered with the shadow of the giant seal. The restrictions around the spacious square battle stage were constantly shaking because of the true essence that was being blasted out by the giant seal. Chu Yong Xian's artifact was a wide-back purple blade. Compared to Gu Hong, who did not even have the ability to fight back, Chu Yong Xian still had the ability to bring out a round shield, while the purple blade could even fight against the giant seal in a stalemate. But if he continued to think like this, then Chu Yong Xian would definitely follow in Gu Hong's footsteps. After half an hour, Chu Yong Xian felt that his own true essence was already somewhat insufficient, and even his spiritual sense was finding it very difficult to simultaneously control the round shield and the purple blade. He knew that he could at least throw in the towel. At least he would be able to save some face. At this time, Chu Yong Xian suddenly felt that the giant seal had once again expanded to nearly double its original size. Not only that, but a black triangular streamer was also brought out by Lian Hao. Chu Yong Xian immediately felt that his breathing was not smooth, while at the same time his spiritual sense also became stiff. He immediately understood that before Lian Hao had not used his full strength, the opposite party had been waiting for this moment. He quickly shouted out, "I throw in the towel." But his voice was directly swept away by the black triangular streamer. The giant seal had already doubled in size, but this time its speed was several times faster than before, as it directly fell on top of Chu Yong Xian's round shield. Chu Yong Xian's round shield was directly smashed away. Chu Yong Xian quickly retreated, but he did not think that Lian Hao's control over the giant seal had already reached a point that he could not even imagine. Such a huge giant seal unexpectedly after smashing the round shield, without any warning it turned around, and then exploded on Chu Yong Xian's back. Poof! A stream of blood continuously sprayed out. Chu Yong Xian also did not have any chance to throw in the towel, and was immediately beheaded by Lian Hao. In just a short period of time, 2 people from the God Wind Academy were killed. This and the God Wind Academy's previous 2 consecutive victories formed a sharp contrast. This contrast was simply too glaring. Ningqing stared at Lian Hao from afar, but did not speak. Lian Hao's insidiousness was not worse than Situ. Moreover, he seemed to have made up his mind to kill the people from the God Wind Academy. Looking at this person's endless means, Ningqing was not sure if this person still had other means. As if he knew that Ningqing was looking at him, Lian Hao unexpectedly showed a faint smile towards Ningqing. Ningqing's heart skipped a beat. This person seemed to have inadvertently seen him a moment ago, but his smile was actually filled with a strong killing intent. This person had come for him. Ningqing immediately understood. Gu Hong and Chu Yong Xian were killed by Lian Hao. It was very likely that they were implicated by him. This person wanted to first kill all the people from the God Wind Academy, and then finally challenge him. He did not expect that Chu Yong Xian would not die in the hands of Gu Yi, but would instead die in the hands of Lian Hao. Ningqing thought for a long time, but could not think of anything as to how he had offended Lian Hao. Why did this person have such a strong killing intent towards him? However, at this time Ningqing had already listed Lian Hao as a person he must kill. Since he was targeting him, then he would absolutely not be polite. The third round of the tournament on the projection array formation screen once again changed the scoreboard. The first place was still the Clear Sky Academy's Situ with 60 points. But because Lian Hao had killed 2 people in a row, plus his own 20 points, at this time his score had already reached 40 points. But Ningqing had 30 points. At this time he was ranked 3rd on the scoreboard. At this moment there were only 9 people with points on the scoreboard. Clear Sky Academy's Situ with 60 points, Thunder Academy's Lian Hao with 40 points, Ling Naixin with 20 points, God Wind Academy's Ningqing with 30 points, Meng Jingxiu with 20 points, Luohua Academy's Feng Xian with 30 points, Puli Xian with 10 points, Falling Star Academy's Meng Yujing with 20 points, Qi Ziwen with 20 points. All the people knew that the third round of the tournament had just begun, and Lian Hao was the real master. Chapter 117. Hey big brother, it's really you. You also came to the Hua Continent's Moze City? A simple and honest-looking youth ran in front of Ningqing and spoke in a pleasantly surprised voice. This youth looked very sturdy. Moreover, his voice was a bit hoarse, and he had the cultivation of Qi gathering 7th level. Haha, Yuanhua, long time no see. Ning Cheng saw this simple and honest-looking youth, and immediately had a good impression of him. This youth was the same as him. He treasured his younger sister very much. Because of this, he gave the pair of pearl hair clips to the other party. Hey, how do you know that I am called Yuanhua? The youth touched his head. He was the one who found Ning Cheng in the Nanyuan city, and asked Ning Cheng for the pair of pearl hair clips to give to his younger sister. Afterwards, because he joined the Clear Heart Academy, he did not have the opportunity to thank Ning Cheng. Now that he saw Ning Cheng again, he felt extremely happy in his heart. Ning Cheng patted his shoulder and said, "You have a thunder spiritual root. You are very famous in the Nanyuan city. How could I not know about you?" Ning Cheng was also secretly shocked in his heart at the cultivation speed of a person with a mutated spiritual root. In such a short time, not only was Yu Ying at Qi Gathering 6th level, even this Yuanhua was at Qi Gathering 6th level. Ning Cheng, does he have a mutated thunder spiritual root? Lu Xian asked in shock, while looking at Yuanhua with shining eyes. Ning Cheng chuckled and said, "Deacon Lu, not only does he have a mutated thunder spiritual root, even his younger sister also has a mutated wind spiritual root. But the brother and sister are disciples of the Falling Star Academy. Our academy can forget about them." Lu Xian sighed. He thought that the God Wind Academy had found a few good seedlings, but compared to a person with a mutated spiritual root, they were nothing. Yuanhua did not care about Ning Cheng and Lu Xian's words. He waved towards the distant Falling Star Academy and said, "Littling, come here. I'll introduce you to that big brother." Although Yu Ying was in the Falling Star Academy, but she was always paying attention to her big brother Yuanhua. Her big brother was a straightforward person, but was not as clever as her. At this time, when she heard her big brother's call, she quickly ran over from the Falling Star Academy. The Falling Star Academy saw that Yu Ying and Yuanhua had come to the Godwind Academy, and also quickly sent 2 people to follow them. Ji Yao he really didn't want to talk to her niece again, but she had to obey the orders of the Academy elders and come to look after the Yu siblings. After Ning Cheng killed Shui Yu, she was even more sure that Ning Cheng had a secret on him. It was a pity that even if she told the Shui clan, she wouldn't be able to obtain any benefits. She could only think in her heart that when Ning Cheng was alone, she would then stop Ning Cheng and interrogate him. "Little sister, this big brother is the one who gave me the pearl hair clip. He is a very good person." Yuanhua, on seeing his sister Yu Ying come over, quickly pointed to Ning Cheng and introduced him to his sister. Yu Ying showed a faint smile and said, "I know him, he is called Ning Cheng. We also met in Nanyuan City, but you weren't there at that time." When she first saw Ning Cheng, she felt very surprised. But after listening to Lu Shui and Yong Guyan talk about Su Zhu's character, her opinion of Ning Cheng plummeted. In her heart, Lu Shui and Yong Guyan's words were much more credible than Ning Cheng's words. Moreover, Ning Cheng's explanation at that time was that he wanted to be with Su Zhu, and it was none of their business. But Yu Ying did not like to talk about such things, so she did not tell her brother about it. Yuanhua frowned, and suddenly spoke up. "Littling, when we were young, Grandpa taught us to be grateful, and not to ignore small matters. Although a pair of pearl hair clips is nothing to us right now, but it is something that big brother Ning likes, and he gave it to us for free. At least you should thank him." Yu Ying's face turned red. She suddenly felt that her thoughts were very wrong. No matter what Ning Cheng did, it was his character. At the very least, he didn't ask for any reward or any conditions when he gave him a pair of pearl hair clips. She had previously been influenced by Lu Shui and Yong Guyun's words, and unexpectedly had some disdain towards Ning Cheng. This was really her fault. Thinking till here, Yu Ying quickly gave a deep bow to Ning Cheng and said, "Many thanks big brother Ning for giving me this pair of pearl hair clips." Yu Ying was somewhat rude before. Seeing Yu Ying's attitude, Yuanhua grinned and said, "Haha big brother Ning, sometimes my little sister is not clever, and can't think of some things." Ning Cheng found it a bit funny in his heart. Was Yu Ying not clever? Compared to this big brother of hers, she was many times more clever. "Yu Ying, Yuanhua, the tournament is still ongoing. Hurry up and follow me back to the Academy's encampment." Ji Yao he came over, and directly called out to the 2 of them. Yuanhua quickly spoke, Big brother Ning bought a bunch of pearl hair clips for his little sister and gave them to little Ing. I brought little Ing to thank him. Ji Yao, he sneered. I only know that the Tsongla city's Ning clan only has Ning Cheng. Oh, there is also an unknown steward. When did Ning Cheng have a little sister? I have never heard of such a strange thing. Now that the Academy's great tournament is still going on, you should hurry up and come back to the encampment with me. Ji Yao, he obviously said that Ning Cheng was lying. If not for the Yu clan's brother and sister's qualifications being heaven-defying, Ji Yao, he would absolutely not be so amiable towards him. After she finished, she deliberately looked at Ji Luofei, meaning that Ning Cheng was lying. However, Ji Luofei just stood at Ning Cheng's side. Even her eyes did not change. It was obvious that her words were nothing but air in Ji Luofei's eyes. When Ji Yao, he left with the Yu clan's brother and sister, the new fight on the platform also ended. Falling Star Academy's True Condensation 9th level Chizi, when defeated Luo Ho Academy's True Condensation 9th level Puli Xian. Chizi Wen's score also reached 30 points, while Puli Xian was directly eliminated. This fight was the second time in a row that no one had fallen. After a few rounds, the Luo Ho Academy only had Fang Xian left. Fang Xian's 30 points were given to him by the other participants of the Luo Ho Academy. The third round of the tournament for the 5-star academies was incomparably fierce. Once they lost, it was very likely that they would end up losing their lives. Moreover, there were many experts in the tournament. Whether it was the Clear Sky Academy's Situyu or the Thunder Academy's Lian Hao, both of them were incomparably powerful existences. Even the God Wind Academy's most powerful True Condensation Master, in front of Lian Hao, was not able to hold on for long, and was directly killed. Many of the participants knew that they were not strong enough, and simply gave the points in their hands to the more powerful opponents from their academies. Fang Xian finally could not bear it. He took the initiative to step onto the platform, cupped his fists and loudly said, Luo Ho Academy's Fang Xian carries 30 points to challenge the God Wind Academy's Meng Jingxiu. Fang Xian challenging Meng Jingxiu was something that everyone had expected. Now among the remaining 8 people, it was estimated that Meng Jingxiu's cultivation was the lowest. Moreover, Meng Jingxiu carried 20 points, and the Luo Ho Academy was in urgent need of points to maintain their face. Not to mention that Meng Jingxiu had defeated the Luo Ho Academy's Zhu Junjie in the first round, and even took away 10 points from the Luo Ho Academy. Now Fang Xian challenging Meng Jingxiu was also a matter of course. Hearing that Fang Xian actually dared to challenge her, Meng Jingxiu's eyebrows jumped up. She did not even say a single word, and directly flew onto the platform. As you wish. Meng Jingxiu had just landed on the platform, when she immediately brought out her halberd. At the same time, an inexhaustible halberd shadow burst out. Meng Jingxiu was the first cultivator to step onto the platform. Moreover, she was a dark horse, and easily defeated the True Condensation 8th level cultivator Zhu Junjie. Now that she and the True Condensation 9th level cultivator Fang Xian fought, it was even more eye-catching. The magical weapon that Fang Xian brought out was extremely simple. It was just a very ordinary sword. After Meng Jingxiu brought out her halberd, he calmly waved the long sword in his hands. With just a simple wave, the long sword instantly blurred, as a terrifying ice chill froze the entire platform. Meng Jingxiu's halberd shadow was affected by this ice chill, and immediately slowed down. The blurred sword shadow suddenly gave out a shrill cry, as it completely gathered the surrounding ice chill, and in just a few breaths, it transformed into a long ice sword, with an incomparably fast speed. Hua! The halberd shadow that Meng Jingxiu brought out instantly broke apart under this simple sword shadow. Ding! A crisp sound emerged. As the halberd shadow dispersed, the exposed halberd and Fang Xian's long sword collided with each other, issuing a soul-shaking sound. Fang Xian stood motionless in the same place, while Meng Jingxiu was sent flying upside down by the impact, and was only barely able to stop when she reached the edge of the platform. Even if that was the case, the powerful True Essence backlash still caused her chest to churn endlessly. Meng Jingxiu was not injured, but her complexion was very ugly to look at. With just one move, with just one face-to-face encounter, she knew that there was an insurmountable gap between her and her opponent. If she wanted to defeat Fong Xian, then she would have to advance to the true condensation 9th level to have a chance. Fong Xian did not pursue her. If Fong Xian pursued her, and was bent on killing Meng Jingxiu, then Meng Jingxiu, besides falling, could only seize the opportunity to throw in the towel. I lost. Meng Jingxiu knew that Fong Xian did not have any intention to kill her. As she spoke those words with a somewhat defeated face, as she desolately walked down the platform. Originally she thought that with her ability, even if she lost, it would not be so simple. But now that she had to fight against a real master, she found that she was still far behind. Fong Xian did not continue to challenge other people, as he slowly walked down the platform. But at this time, no one could underestimate him. Even if the Luohua Academy only had Fong Xian left, he was still a formidable opponent. Because Fong Xian defeated Meng Jingxiu, his score rose from 30 to 50, while Meng Jingxiu was eliminated. At this time, the Godwind Academy's score was at the bottom. Not only was the Godwind Academy's score at the bottom, but the only one left was Ning Cheng. Among the remaining participants with a score, Ning Cheng's cultivation was also the lowest. It was not simply the lowest, but it was also the lowest by several grades. At this moment, the Godwind Academy's dreamlike opening no longer existed. Similarly, no one was optimistic about the Godwind Academy. Whether it was the Godwind Academy or the Godwind Academy's Meng Jingxiu, both of them were beaten back to their original form in this battle. The Godwind Academy had 2 dark horses, but it turned out that the dark horses could only be dark for once. Now that Meng Jingxiu was defeated, how long could that Ning Shaoqing be dark? Chapter 118. Although Ning Cheng had defeated Meng Yujing, many of the cultivators on the public square did not have any intuitive feeling about it. At most, they felt that this dark horse was still a dark horse. The people from the Falling Star Academy were extremely shocked. Meng Yujing was not even half a point worse than Qi Ziwen in the Falling Star Academy. For them, since Ning Shaoqing could easily defeat Meng Yujing, then it meant that Qi Ziwen was 90% not an opponent for Ning Shaoqing. Meng Yujing's sword line wave pattern was definitely an amazing sword skill. It was even more advanced than his 36 profound ice spear technique. It was just that Meng Yujing was the same as him, unable to fully display that kind of sword pattern wave, which gave him the leeway to counterattack. Although Ning Cheng was only at true condensation 3rd level, but the depth of his true essence was not even half a point worse than Meng Yujing's. Moreover, his meridians were very wide, so the true essence that he could blast out in an instant was a lot more powerful than Meng Yujing's. Meng Yujing's sword trace wave immediately began to disperse, as if it was about to dissipate. Meng Yujing had already brought out her blue flying sword, causing a blue wave-like sword line to appear, and in a twinkling of an eye, wrapped around Ning Cheng. Just as Lian Hao was about to step onto the stage to challenge Ning Cheng, Meng Yujing immediately flew onto the stage. Ji Luofei, who was watching the fight from a distance, saw that Ning Cheng had already disappeared under Meng Yujing's blue-colored wave, and could not even see his shadow. She immediately nervously took a few steps forward. After Meng Jingxiu lost, her mood was very low. Although she did not like Ning Cheng, but seeing Ji Luofei walk forward, she quickly pulled Ji Luofei back and said, "You do not want to live anymore. As long as you cross the yellow line in front of you, that old man will immediately start. Did you not see the fate of the Shui clan's essence-building elder?" Ning Cheng did not move. His spiritual sense fell onto Meng Yujing's cyan-colored mirror. He felt that this cyan mirror was somewhat strange. Ming Hao Qua of the Clear Sky Academy was also staring at Ning Cheng with a fiery hot gaze. This was originally a disciple of their Clear Sky Academy, but unfortunately he was sent to the Godwind Academy by the rice bucket of the academy. At this time he could not wait to save the Qi-gathering cultivator, who had already turned into ashes, and then turn him into ashes again. He had completely forgotten that when Ning Cheng had obtained 11 points in the first and second round, he had rejoiced in his heart, and even ridiculed the Godwind Academy. At this moment, Ning Cheng's true essence was completely stimulated, as 8 spear shadows once again shot out. These 8 spear shadows did not have the same kind of icy coldness as before, and had turned into pure spear shadows. The first place was still Situyu with 60 points, the second was Fong Xian with 50 points, the third was Lian Hao with 40 points, the fourth was Ning Xiaocheng and Qi Ziwen with 30 points, Ling Naixin and Meng Yujing, who had not fought on stage, both had 20 points. Meng Yujing's face immediately turned red. She did not think that Ning Qing did not have any demeanor. She even thought that Ning Qing deliberately said those words. It was definitely because Ning Qing had followed her last time and saw her and Chu Ping together. During the fight, Ning Qing felt the shortcomings of the 36 profound ice spear technique. His ice spiritual root was not outstanding, moreover his true essence was also relatively limited. The might of this profound ice spear technique was not very strong. It would be better to remove the ice cold. Ning Qing put away the broken spear and once again closed his eyes, as the broken spear once again shot towards the center of the sword line wave. The spear net and Meng Yujing's cyan sword line wave formation collided for the second time, causing continuous ka-ka sounds to ring out. Ning Qing did not continue to supplement the power of the spear lights. He believed that if he brought out another 8 spear lights at this time, then Meng Yujing would definitely lose without a doubt. Ning Qing did not have even half a shred of goodwill towards this Meng Yujing. When he heard Meng Yujing's words, he immediately sneered and spoke. Since you are afraid, then why don't you just hide at home and hold your child? Why did you still come up to challenge me? The blue mirror was Meng Yujing's magical weapon. As such, she could clearly see the scene that Ning Qing saw in the blue illusion mirror. These scenes were so strange that she had never seen them before. Hey, at such a young age he has actually comprehended spear intent to such a degree. Is this person's spirit root really that bad? The dignified man sitting on the main altar muttered to himself. In Ning Cheng's first match, he had already revealed the surface of his axe intent. Who would have thought that he would also be involved in spear intent? However, no matter what happened to Ning Cheng in her green illusion mirror, she had to capture the other party first. Whether he wanted to kill Ning Cheng or not, it all depended on how he answered. Meng Yujing no longer spoke any nonsense. As she raised both her hands, a cyan-colored flying sword immediately appeared in her palms. At the same time that she brought out the flying sword in her hands, a cyan-colored round mirror also appeared suspended behind her. The spear intent grew stronger and stronger. Meng Yujing's complexion turned pale as she constantly retreated. She desperately stimulated her true essence to move the green illusion mirror in front of her. She did not know if her green illusion mirror could block Ning Cheng's spear. I admit defeat. Meng Yujing stood up with difficulty as she wiped the blood from the corners of her mouth and placed the green illusion mirror into her storage bag in a distressed manner. Although she did not know the reason, she understood that Ning Cheng had spared her life. Otherwise, she would have died without a doubt. At the same time, Ning Cheng came to another conclusion. That was that the 36 profound ice spear technique was not suitable for him to completely break out the spear intent that he had comprehended. Just what was the origin of this Ning Xiaocheng? How could it be so terrifying? Meng Yujing and Ning Cheng's battle were completely defeated. The mysterious yellow bead in Ning Cheng's Zifu once again exuded the mysterious yellow origin aura. This aura had not yet fully formed his sea of consciousness, and immediately disappeared into the meridians of Ning Cheng's entire body. Having lost 2 core disciples, the God Wind Academy was already extremely depressed, but because of Ning Cheng's victory, it once again gave rise to hope. Lu Xian eagerly stared at Ning Cheng, who had just returned. If the God Wind Academy could obtain a good ranking, then even if they had lost 2 core disciples, they could still find some comfort. Ning Cheng had defeated Meng Yujing with an unstoppable and domineering manner, allowing him to see hope again. Meng Yujing did not think that Ning Cheng would be able to take down Ning Cheng with just the first sword line. So when Ning Cheng's spear light and her first wave of sword net collided, she gave a cold snort, and the sword line wave that was about to dissipate was immediately stirred up by the wind, and once again surged out with innumerable new waves of sword lines. Meng Yujing did not think that Ning Cheng would suddenly sober up. She was just about to stimulate the blue mirror, when she felt the killing intent of the entire platform being swept away by Ning Cheng's long spear. The next moment a spear shadow condensed with an inexhaustible killing intent rumbled towards her. Without the icy cold, these 8 spear shadows, almost at the same time as they shot out, formed into a spear net. Meng Yujing's stunning appearance immediately attracted the attention of everyone. There were not many female cultivators participating in the third round of the tournament. Although the God Wind Academy's Meng Jingxiu's appearance was not bad, but compared to Meng Yujing, the difference between Meng Jingxiu's beauty was simply too big. These countless spear shadows in just a twinkling of an eye formed a spear net. His 36 profound ice spears could already form 24 spear shadows. But Ning Cheng did not use his full strength in this spear net, he only brought out 8 spear shadows. Yujing took the liberty to challenge you. I ask Brother Ning to show mercy. Meng Yujing was extremely self-restrained, and spoke in a soft and gentle voice, making people who heard her feel pity in their hearts, and even reluctant to use heavy hands. Ning Cheng sneered. He did not know why Meng Yujing wanted to challenge him, but he was absolutely not afraid of this woman. As soon as Meng Yujing issued the challenge declaration, Ning Cheng immediately flew up and landed on the platform. Lian Hao stared at Ning Cheng. As the corners of his mouth revealed a trace of a grin, he wanted to kill these few people from the God Wind Academy one by one. If Meng Jingxiu lost in the first round, then it would have been her luck. If Meng Jingxiu did not lose, then the next one to die would have been her. Meng Yujing had a faint smile on her face, which made her look even more beautiful. She cupped her fists towards all the people present, and then spoke in a crisp voice. Falling Star Academy's Meng Yujing with 20 points challenges the God Wind Academy's Ning Xiaocheng. The incomparably icy cold spear shadows, in just a breath of time, formed into an icy spear net. This icy spear net and Meng Yujing's blue-colored sword line wave collided together, giving out bursts of true essence explosions. Let's see what else you have. After Meng Yujing released the second wave of sword line wave, she still did not stop. The blue-colored mirror that was originally suspended behind her, at this moment, also suspended itself above the two people. At the same time, the blue-colored round mirror shot out countless blue-colored lights. These lights fell on top of Ning Cheng's ice spear shadows, causing the ice spear shadows to directly collapse. This terrifying and formidable killing intent made Meng Yujing unable to resist even the slightest bit, and was immediately scared out of her wits. If this spear had hit her body, then it was estimated that her entire body would have exploded. Chapter 119. The Rakshasa seal had already covered a radius of more than 10 feet, completely locking the space around Fong Xian. Boom kaka! The Rakshasa seal and Fong Xian's ordinary ice swords collided and exploded. This was simply an impossible thing, but when Lu Xian thought about how easily Ning Cheng had defeated Meng Yujing, he immediately felt that it was not an impossible thing. Lian Hao's aura was extremely heavy. After Fong Xian finished speaking, he directly brought out his Rakshasa seal. Chu Yong Xian and Gu Hong were not able to make Lian Hao display his full strength. Although Lian Hao looked down on Fong Xian, but he knew that Fong Xian was far from being comparable to Chu Yong Xian. So he immediately used his full strength. At least on the surface it looked like he was using his full strength. Ning Cheng simply said, "Deacon Liu, I think that the strength of our God Wind Academy is limited. Moreover, we do not have a profound core cultivator to oversee it. Once we obtain the quota for a 6-star academy, we would immediately become the target of public criticism. I think that the powerhouses of the intermediate class continents would come to help our God Wind Academy establish a 6-star academy. It would definitely be after the Angry Axe Valley opens. During this period of time, what would happen in the Hua continent? Who can say for sure?" After the fight between Ning Cheng and Meng Yujing, there were only 6 people left with points. He had tried to be optimistic about the outcome of the tournament, but he did not expect that Ning Cheng would unexpectedly give such an answer. This answer was not just optimistic about the outcome of the tournament, but it was completely beyond his imagination. "Lost so quickly?" Ning Cheng asked in a puzzled manner. He and Lu Xian were just talking, and did not pay attention to the situation on the stage. Lu Xian opened his mouth to speak. Of course it would be best for them to advance to a 6-star academy. But as the words were about to come out of his mouth, he swallowed them back down. Ning Cheng's words definitely had a reason, he subconsciously asked. "Ning Cheng, can you help my God Wind Academy to get the first place? Let the God Wind Academy advance to a 6-star academy?" Ning Cheng hesitated for a moment, and then spoke with certainty. This time, other than that Ling Naixin, I have already seen the rest of the participants. If Deacon Lu really wants to get the first place, and let the God-Wind Academy advance to a 6-star academy, then I think I can help Deacon Lu achieve this. Ningqing did not think that Lian Hao would end up fighting with Fang Xian. When he saw Lian Hao step onto the stage, he immediately knew that Lian Hao wanted to challenge him. He just didn't know why the seemingly calm Fang Xian would want to get involved in this mess. In Ningqing's view, Fang Xian and Lian Hao's cultivation was indeed similar, but Ningqing believed that Fang Xian was not a match for Lian Hao. This was not a problem of cultivation, but rather that Lian Hao was several times more cunning than Fang Xian. In a contest between two evenly matched opponents, the cunning one would definitely have the upper hand. Fang Xian had seen Lian Hao fight before. He was different from Chuyong Xian. His true essence cultivation was no worse than Lian Hao's. At the same time that Lian Hao used all his strength to bring out the Rakshasa seal, his ice sword also stabbed out. Ningqing did not know if Fang Xian still had a trump card, but he knew that Lian Hao still had a black triangular streamer that he had not taken out. Ningqing spoke in a deep voice. Deacon Lu, I feel that this promotion to a 6-star academy is not as simple as it seems. Of course, if I can think of it, I'm sure you can as well. Since Ningqing defeated Meng Yujing, she knew that she had overestimated herself and underestimated Ningqing. Ningqing's cultivation should be higher than hers. Lu Xian wholeheartedly wanted to help the God-Wind Academy rise. Moreover, the intermediate class continents had also promised that they would send people to help the first place of the 5-star tournament to establish a 6-star academy. Because the Angry Axe Valley suddenly opened, the people sent by the intermediate class continents had not yet been chosen. Even if they wanted to choose, it would be a matter after the Angry Axe Valley closed. Lian Hao's eyes flashed with a trace of annoyance. He was a bit slow. If he was a bit faster, or if he was a bit closer to Fang Xian, then he would definitely be able to kill Fang Xian before Fang Xian admitted defeat. Unfortunately, since Fang Xian had already admitted defeat, he could no longer make a move. After Situ Yu beheaded the Thunder Academy's Gu Yi, he had accumulated 60 points, and until now he had been ranked first. However, he did not continue to challenge others, and no one came out to challenge him. Ningqing had just come down from the platform, when Lian Hao from the Thunder Academy once again flew up to the platform. The rest of the people did not even need to think about it. They knew that Lian Hao wanted to challenge Ningqing, who had just come down. For him to put forward this suggestion, it was not because of his selfish thoughts. However, Ningqing believed that his inference was absolutely not wrong. With an empty 6-star academy here, if something happened in the future, who would know who did it? Lian Hao's mouth showed a trace of a grin. Since you want to die early and reincarnate early, then I will help you. Originally this father wanted to kill that trash Ning Xiaoqing first, but I did not think that you would want to die. Someone like you, who can't even kill a woman, there really is no need for you to live. Whether or not the God-Wind Academy could become a 6-star academy, Ningqing did not care about it at all, but if Ji Luofei lost even a single hair, then he would not be willing. Thank you, I unexpectedly thought of it. No wonder you can have this kind of achievement in the true condensation 3rd level. After Lu Xian thanked Ningqing, he spoke with some emotion. Lu Xian thought that he could not see clearly. Lu Xian vaguely understood the meaning behind Ningqing's words, but he still asked, Ningqing, what do you mean? Ningqing certainly did not think much more than Lu Xian. He knew that once he entered the Angry Axe Valley, then Ji Luofei would have to stay in the God-Wind Academy. He absolutely could not let Ji Luofei be in the eye of the storm. As if they could feel the strength of the other side, both sides did not hold back anymore. Fang Xian and Lian Hao once again fought against each other. The true essence exploded out. The entire battle platform was filled with crackling sounds. From the start of the 3rd round until now, this was a truly evenly matched battle. At this time on the entire battle platform, it was either the Rakshasa Great Seal that was wrapped around Fang Xian, or the vague sword shadow that was splitting the Great Seal. No matter which side had the upper hand, in just a moment, the other side would be able to counterattack. At this time, he completely understood Ningqing's meaning. What would happen in the middle of this? If the God Wind Academy was destroyed by someone using various excuses, would the intermediate class continents even get angry and help the God Wind Academy take revenge? At most, they would choose another academy to become a 6-star academy. Boom boom. Several violent explosions rang out, causing Ning Cheng and Lu Xian to once again focus their attention on the battle platform. On the battle platform, Fang Xian had already fallen to the edge of the platform. Blood was spilling out from the corners of his mouth. The true essence in his body was dissipating. It was obvious that he had lost and could not lose again. Lian Hao's triangular eyes swept over the few people who still had points. When his eyes swept over Fang Xian, his eyes immediately showed a trace of disdain. For Fang Xian, sooner or later he would have to fight against Lian Hao, since the other side was so disdainful. Then he might as well fight now. He also wanted to let Lian Hao know that he, Fang Xian, was not the same as Gu Hong or Chu Yong Xian from the God Wind Academy. Thinking until here, Lu Xian forced himself to calm down and asked in a serious tone, "Ning Cheng, you are now a core disciple of my God Wind Academy, what do you think?" After Lian Hao's Rakshasa seal and Fang Xian's ice sword artifact were in a deadlock, Lian Hao pretended to be unable to use his true essence and retreated. Fang Xian suddenly stimulated his true essence and wanted to use the ice sword to break the Rakshasa seal, but he did not expect that Lian Hao's hidden triangular streamer would suddenly roll out, causing Fang Xian's ice sword shadow to suddenly dissipate. Fang Xian, in order to break free from the triangular streamer, forcibly blew up his ice sword artifact and was seriously injured by Lian Hao. Meng Jingxiu took the initiative to explain from the side. Lu Xian was excited, but then he immediately thought about the meaning behind Ning Cheng's question. He was a core disciple of the God Wind Academy. Since he could help the God Wind Academy to advance to a 6-star academy, then of course he would go all out. Why would he need to ask for his opinion? Not waiting for Lian Hao to speak, he immediately flew up to the battle platform and said, "Luo Hua Academy's Fang Xian has brought 50 points to meet with you. Let's see if your hands are as sharp as your triangular eyes." "I admit defeat." Fang Xian spat out these 3 words with incomparable difficulty, as he looked extremely dispirited. Ning Cheng estimated that the outcome of this fight would not be decided in a short time, so he turned around and spoke to Lu Xian. "Deacon Lu, do you want to get a good ranking, or do you want the God Wind Academy to be promoted to a 6-star academy?" It was still an ordinary sword strike, but after this sword strike came out, the surrounding area that was controlled by Lian Hao seemed to blur. This kind of blur was as if it was driven by Fang Xian's vague sword shadow. In the first confrontation, the 2 people unexpectedly were evenly matched. Could the God Wind Academy get the first place and finally advance to a 6-star academy? When Lu Xian heard Ning Cheng's words, he suddenly stared at Ning Cheng, and only after a long time did he speak up in a trembling voice. "Ning Cheng, can you really let the God Wind Academy get the first place?" Ning Cheng's original meaning was that the first and second round of the tournament were targeted towards the academy, and the third round of the tournament was also not purely to select a 6-star academy to cultivate. Since Lu Xian said so, he did not refute it and just explained in a sentence. "This time when the Angry Axe Valley opens, I think that the seniors from the intermediate class continents will certainly not continue to stay in the Hua continent. I guess that they will choose a 6-star academy, and then let the 6-star academies establish themselves. Or they will take the 20 disciples who entered the Angry Axe Valley and leave first." Lian Hao and Fang Xian were simultaneously blown away. The ice sword shadow that was brought along by the vague sword shadow dissipated into thin air. The Luosha seal also shrank and fell into Lian Hao's hands. At this point in the third round of the tournament, it was already mixed with too many personal grievances. It was not until this time that Fang Xian understood why Lian Hao sneered at him. It turned out that this guy was ridiculing him for not being able to kill Meng Jingxiu. In fact, Fang Xian still did not understand the meaning of Lian Hao's words. Lian Hao said that because Fang Xian defeated Meng Jingxiu, he did not have the opportunity to kill Meng Jingxiu. Fang Xian immediately became angry. He knew that Lian Hao wanted to challenge that Ning Xiaocheng. But when he saw Lian Hao's disdainful eyes, he was very unhappy in his heart. Lian Hao was a bit far from Fang Xian, But he still brought out the Luosha seal and wanted to completely kill Fang Xian. After Ning Cheng defeated Meng Yujing, his points also reached 50 points. At this time, no one thought that Ning Cheng was just a fluke or a dark horse. In these two fights, Ning Cheng had already proved that he was strong. Lu Xian at this time understood the meaning of Ning Cheng's words, as he nodded and said, "Ning Cheng, what you said is right. In fact, we really did think of it. The reason why the other side wants us to form a 6-star academy in the lower-class continents is because they want to unify the entire lower-class continents' academies and academies, as well as the countless rogue cultivators, and have an absolute say. This say, in the end, still has to serve the other side. But no matter which one becomes a 6-star academy, it would only serve the other side. As such, it would be better to grasp this power in our own hands. At least we would be able to obtain more benefits than others." Chapter 120. With Fang Xian defeated, all the people knew that the second-ranked Luohua Academy was finished. With Lian Hao being so powerful, the rest of the 5-star academies also began to discuss. The Falling Star Academy was the most worried. Now the Falling Star Academy only had a single Qi Ziwen. Moreover, Qi Ziwen clearly showed that he was not Ning Cheng's opponent. It could be seen that Qi Ziwen was also very dangerous to Lian Hao. Situ Yu of the Clear Sky Academy looked at Lian Hao and frowned. He also thought that Lian Hao was a formidable opponent. The one who felt the least pressure was Ling Naixin of the Thunder Academy. She had not even fought a single match, and had accumulated 20 points. Lian Hao was from the Thunder Academy, so she did not need any pressure. The people in the square were talking about how Lian Hao would be the champion of the 5-star academies. Lian Hao's skill was really too amazing. Lu Xian also frowned. He stared at Lian Hao for a while and said, "Ning Cheng, let's not touch this person for the time being, he looks a bit strange." Ning Cheng smiled and said, "Deacon Lu, even if I don't touch him, he will take the initiative to challenge me." Saying that, Ning Cheng once again flew up and landed on the platform. Godwind Academy's Ning Shaoqing challenges Lian Hao with 50 points. Lian Hao had just defeated Fang Xian and was feeling proud of himself on the platform, but he did not think that at this time someone would dare to challenge him. Ning Cheng flew up to the platform. The people in the square were also in an uproar. Their emotions were very excited. At this time, no one dared to underestimate Ning Cheng. Everyone knew that Ning Cheng and Lian Hao would fight. In the end, who was stronger? Would it be the incomparably powerful Lian Hao, or the dark horse Ning Cheng? When Ning Cheng came up to the platform, the Falling Star Academy and the Clear Sky Academy were relieved. These two people were not people they wanted to meet. Now that these two people came up to the platform, it was for the best. Fang Xian, who came down from the platform, looked at Ning Cheng, who came up to the platform, and secretly sighed, but did not speak. No one knew better than him how terrifying Lian Hao was, but it did not make any sense. If he did not experience it himself, he would not understand what he was talking about. "Kid, I had planned to kill you in a while, but I did not think that it would be too late for you. Since you actually want to court death, then this father will help you out first." Lian Hao, on seeing Ning Cheng on the stage, gave a sneer, as his entire body overflowed with killing intent. The Rakshasa seal had already been brought out. The person he wanted to kill the most was Ning Cheng. At this time Ning Cheng was standing right in front of him. How could Lian Hao tolerate even half a moment of it? For the first time, the Rakshasa seal expanded to a size of nearly 20 feet. Under the stimulation of the large seal, the surrounding air vibrated with bursts of murderous aura. So powerful. The onlookers were secretly amazed. The power of Lian Hao's Rakshasa seal this time seemed to be even stronger than when he was fighting with Fang Xian. The long spear in Ning Cheng's hands shot out. This time 24 spear shadows shot out at once, forming a huge spear net. The profound ice chi of the 36 profound ice spears had already been removed by Ning Cheng. As such, the pure 24 spear shadows formed into a spear net was incomparably swift and fierce. The invisible spear net and the huge Rakshasa seal instantly collided with each other. This kind of violent impact, the spectating cultivators on the public square could even feel the ground tremble slightly. Meng Yujing's mouth exuded a trace of bitterness. She finally understood. that Ning Cheng had only used 16 spear shadows in his fight with her. He simply did not use his full strength. Boom boom boom. True essence overflowed. The Rakshasa seal and Ning Cheng's broken spear shadows were like rolling dark clouds, shrouding the entire platform. Ning Cheng knew that if they were to compete in terms of true essence, he would absolutely not be able to kill Lian Hao. Moreover, his 36 profound ice spears, because he had removed the ice cold, had already become a spear technique without any special characteristics. But he had to remove it. His true essence was limited. Once he injected his true essence to stimulate the ice cold, it would not be worth it for him. Previously, when he was fighting against people with low cultivations, Ning Cheng could not see it, but now that he was fighting against a cultivator with a powerful true essence, he could already feel that his 36 profound ice spears were not suitable for him to use. When the spear shadows and the Rakshasa seal were tangled together, Lian Hao silently brought out his black triangular streamer. At the same time, Ning Cheng once again grabbed his spear in his hands. The spear in his hands drew a semicircle, as it swept through the middle of the spear shadows with a tearing killing intent. This was the spear that he had comprehended during his fight with Meng Yujing. Only with this spear was he able to bring out all of his spear intent. The majestic killing intent condensed into the spearhead of Ning Cheng's spear. The spearhead pierced through the surrounding air, as it rumbled towards Lian Hao's chest with a tragic whistling sound. This kind of incomparably tragic spear killing intent, even the spectators could feel it, but Lian Hao, who was in the middle of it, unexpectedly did not feel it. All the people felt that it was strange. Even Ning Cheng himself felt somewhat puzzled. Ning Cheng did not expect that this spear would be able to kill Lian Hao, but after this spear, he was sure that Lian Hao would definitely be killed by him. As such, he had already prepared his 7 Pleiades ice needle. Against a person like Lian Hao, Ning Cheng did not want to hold back even for half a moment. As long as Lian Hao blocked his spear intent that was bursting with killing intent, then his imposing manner would immediately be destroyed. The 7 Pleiades ice needle and his axe fist would be the grave of the opposite party. At this time, Lian Hao suddenly revealed a trace of a sneer. Not only did he not care about Ning Cheng's spear intent that was bursting with killing intent, but he also stimulated the black triangular streamer with all of his strength. And in the blink of an eye, the sky above the two people formed a black cloud. Ning Cheng suddenly felt that something was wrong. His Zifu was in pain. His spiritual sense was immediately blocked. At the same time, the spear intent that was bursting with killing intent also stagnated for a moment. It was as if there was a boundless black cloud pouring into his Zifu. It made his spiritual sense feel as if it had met a thick wall. This black triangular streamer turned out to be a magical weapon that could cut off his spiritual sense. As long as his spiritual sense was cut off, then his spear intent that was bursting with killing intent would become insignificant. No wonder Lian Hao was not even the least bit nervous, and even had the time to ridicule him. Ning Cheng was surprised in his heart, but at the same time he felt that the mysterious yellow origin was about to overflow, and was trying to drive away the black cloud that was blocking his spiritual sense from wrapping around his Zifu. But not waiting for the mysterious yellow origin to overflow, the star river that was right next to the mysterious yellow bead suddenly pulsated. At this moment, the seemingly boundless black cloud in his Zifu was completely absorbed. Ning Cheng's spiritual sense once again did not stagnate. Lian Hao obviously felt that Ning Cheng's spear had stopped, as he stared at Ning Cheng sarcastically and said, "Now you know this is my real strength. Do you know why I have to kill you? I am taking revenge for Shuiyu. Wait for me to help you take care of that woman surnamed Ji. Your head will explode under my foot." Lian Hao's words had not yet finished, when he felt that something was wrong. The spear that had just stagnated a moment ago once again rumbled towards him. Not only did it rumble towards him, but the killing intent did not diminish even by half a bit. Rather, along with his words, the killing intent condensed even more, forming an unstoppable bone-piercing spear intent. Not good. Lian Hao immediately knew that his spiritual binding streamer did not have any effect, but at this time Ning Cheng's spear had already arrived in front of him. Lian Hao was scared out of his wits. He wanted to bring out a round shield, but it was already too late. He could only stimulate his true essence to dodge to the side. Unfortunately, he was only a cultivator at true condensation 9th level. while he was stimulating the Rakshasa seal, while simultaneously stimulating the spiritual binding streamer. His spiritual sense was not strong enough to avoid the terrifying killing intent of the spear. What's more, even if he had the ability, this kind of killing intent of the spear would not be easy to avoid. Puff, a bloody mist exploded, as half of Lian Hao's body was blasted apart by Ning Cheng's spear. At the same time, because he had mobilized his true essence to block Ning Cheng's spear, several spear shadows directly passed through his Rakshasa seal and exploded on his other arm, directly turning his other arm into nothingness. One had to say that Lian Hao's vitality was incomparably strong. Even in this kind of situation, he still forced himself to open his mouth and admit defeat. Ning Cheng's heart to kill him was incomparably strong. How could he let Lian Hao admit defeat? The spear in his hand swept out horizontally and directly exploded on top of Lian Hao's head. Lian Hao's huge head, just like a huge watermelon, was blasted into a bloody mist by Ning Cheng's spear. Ning Cheng raised his hand and put away Lian Hao's things into his storage bag, and then threw out a ball of fire. Immediately Lian Hao's entire body turned into ashes. After killing Lian Hao, Ning Cheng slowly breathed a sigh of relief. He knew that if Lian Hao was not too reliant on his triangular streamer, then this duel would not have been so easy. The entire square was silent. They had thought that this duel would be carried out ahead of time, and that the battle would definitely reach its climax before the winner could be decided. But they did not think that, in just the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn, the two people had already decided the winner and the loser. Not only was the winner and the loser decided, but it was also a matter of life and death. Ning Cheng not only blew up Lian Hao's head on the stage, but also took away Lian Hao's things, and even turned Lian Hao into ashes with a ball of fire. How could this just be called arrogant? After a good while, a burst of lively voices erupted from outside the stage, although the fight was not long, but the process was very exciting. This Ning Xiaoqing once again made everyone realize how powerful he was. This was absolutely not something that could be explained with luck. Lian Hao had killed 2 experts from the God Wind Academy, and did not allow anyone to admit defeat, but this time he was finally killed by Ning Xiaocheng from the God Wind Academy. Similarly, this Ning Xiaocheng from the God Wind Academy also did not give Lian Hao the opportunity to admit defeat. Not only did he not allow him to admit defeat, he did not even leave behind a single bone dregs. Ling Naixin's face was incomparably pale. She had never thought that Lian Hao would lose so miserably, and so quickly. She was almost sure that Ning Xiaocheng would challenge her next. Lian Hao had killed Chu Yong Xian and Gu Hong from the God Wind Academy. How could Ning Xiaocheng let her go? Not only would he not let her go, but he would definitely kill her. Unless she immediately admitted defeat on the stage. But if she wanted to admit defeat, then she would have to go up on the stage to admit defeat. But the key point was, would Ning Xiaoqing even give her the time to admit defeat? Lu Xian was so excited that he almost shouted out loud. Ning Cheng had defeated Lian Hao, and now had accumulated 140 points. As long as Ning Cheng was willing, he could casually challenge another one, and the God Wind Academy would definitely be the first. Then he sighed. He knew that Ning Cheng would not continue to challenge. All the eyes were focused on Ning Cheng. They all wanted to know who Ning Cheng would challenge next. Chapter 121. From the start of the 3rd round of the tournament until now, among all the participating cultivators, Ning Cheng already had the highest number of points. Ning Cheng's score was 140 points, far surpassing Sitiyu, who was in 2nd place with 60 points. As for Qi Ziwan, who was in 3rd place with 30 points, and Ling Naixin, who was in last place with 20 points, were even more incomparable. The rankings of the 5 5-star academies were once again reshuffled. The Falling Star Academy was still ranked first with a total of 251 points. The God Wind Academy, which was originally in the last place, at this time was already ranked 2nd with 216 points. Clear Sky Academy had 190 points, ranked 3rd. Thunderclap Academy 158 points, ranked 4th. In last place was Luo Ho Academy, with a score of 155. Ning Cheng, who was standing on the battle platform, swept his gaze out. Of the 3 people who still had points, other than Situyu, the other 2 were extremely frightened. Che Ziwen and Ling Naixin both knew that they were not Ning Cheng's opponents. But Ning Cheng did not even need to challenge Sityu. As long as he defeated Che Ziwen and Ling Naixin, then the first place would definitely belong to the Godwind Academy. Coincidentally, he had 2 slots in his hands, and he could challenge both of them. Contrary to everyone's expectations, after Ning Cheng swept his gaze around, he unexpectedly withdrew his gaze and slowly walked down from the platform. Ling Naixin heaved a sigh. She was most afraid that Ning Cheng would challenge her next. Che Ziwen felt even more relieved. Although he was not sure if Ning Cheng would continue to take the stage, at least he did not need to face Ning Cheng directly for now. An essence-building cultivator from the Clear Sky Academy suddenly spoke. Now together with our Clear Sky Academy's Sityu, there are only 4 people with points. Che Ziwen and Ling Naixin are definitely not Sityu's opponents. As long as Sityu challenges these 2 people, we will definitely be second. Ming Haokwa sneered and said, none of us can challenge him. If nothing unexpected happens in the 3rd round, then it will end here. That Ning Xiaocheng had no intention of fighting for the first place for the Godwind Academy. Otherwise he would have already challenged Che Ziwen and Ling Naixin. Regardless of the reason why Ning Xiaocheng gave up on fighting for the first place, we should not make a move. Unfortunately, if not for that blind bastard, Ning Xiaocheng would have been a disciple of our Clear Sky Academy. Martial Uncle Ming is right. If I defeat Che Ziwen and Ling Naixin, I can indeed get 2nd place. But I am sure that once I defeat these 2 people, Ning Xiaocheng would definitely challenge me next. The reason why the Godwind Academy did not continue to challenge was because they wanted to maintain their 2nd position. I do not have even half a shred of confidence in that Ning Xiaocheng. This person is very mysterious. Once I lose to him, the Clear Sky Academy will be ranked last. Sityu said as he followed behind Ning Cheng. There's not much difference between 2nd and 3rd place. Let's stop here. If Sityu did not come out, then Ning Xiaocheng would definitely not come out. As for the Falling Star Academy's Che Ziwen and the Thunder Academy's Ling Naixin, they would definitely not take the initiative to challenge them. Ming Haokwa nodded and agreed with Sityu's words. He had already seen Ning Cheng fight, and was not willing to let Sityu and Ning Cheng fight to the death for the sake of a 2nd and 3rd place. Ning Cheng did not continue to challenge, while the rest of the people were also not willing to come up to the stage to challenge, causing the scene to unexpectedly turn cold. With the 3rd round of the tournament reaching this point, all the people could already see where the problem lay. As to which academy would obtain the 1st position, it was all in the hands of Ning Cheng. Now Ning Xiaocheng did not know for what reason, but he was not willing to help the Godwind Academy seize the 1st place. As such he did not continue to challenge. If Ning Xiaocheng did not come to the stage to challenge, then no one would dare to come to the stage to challenge him. Sityu could have challenged him on the stage, but he was afraid of Ning Xiaocheng. What's more, even if he defeated Che Ziwen and Ling Naixin, he would not be able to take the 1st place. In case the Godwind Academy took the 2nd place, and angered that Ning Xiaocheng, it simply would not be worth it. The old man presiding over the tournament obviously saw the situation, as he flew over to the platform, and spoke in a clear voice. Ning Xiaocheng, do you still want to continue to challenge? He could see that the 1st place of the academy was now completely controlled by Ning Cheng. As long as Ning Cheng was willing to challenge, then the Godwind Academy would be the 1st. If Ning Cheng was not willing to challenge, then the Falling Star Academy would be the 1st. Ning Cheng quickly stood up and cupped his fists and said, this junior feels that his strength is limited. For the Godwind Academy to be able to obtain the 2nd place, we are already very satisfied, and do not want to continue to challenge. But if someone challenges me, this junior will definitely accept the challenge. The old man presiding over the tournament then swept his gaze towards Sityu. He could see that only Sityu could compete with Ning Cheng. Once Sityu defeated Ning Cheng, then the 1st place would belong to the Clear Sky Academy. This junior also does not have any certainty, so I am not willing to continue to challenge. Sityu quickly responded. Hearing that Ning Cheng and Sityu were not willing to continue to challenge, Che Ziwen and Ling Naixin were even more happy. The 2 of them did not even wait for the old man to ask, as they took the initiative to step forward, and said that their strength was limited, and that they could not continue to challenge. Qi Ziwen had also stepped onto the platform, but Ling Naixin had not stepped onto the platform from the beginning to the end. The old man presiding over the tournament nodded, and immediately announced in a loud voice, "This year's tournament of the 5-Star Academies is now over. The Falling Star 5-Star Academy has obtained the first place with a score of 251 points. Because the Angry Axe Valley is about to open, the Falling Star 5-Star Academy will be promoted to a 6-Star Academy in half a year. During this period, the Falling Star Academy can integrate some of the resources from the 3 lower-class continents." Lu Xian glanced at Ning Cheng, although he also had such expectations, but it was not as clear as what Ning Cheng had said. Now it seems that what Ning Cheng had said was really not wrong. The old man wanted the newly promoted 6-Star Academy to integrate the resources from the lower-class continents. In addition to the opening of the Angry Axe Valley, there was also another meaning, and that was to see how much strength this newly promoted 6-Star Academy had, and whether it was in line with the selected 6-Star Academies. Thinking that the Godwind Academy did not even have a single profound core cultivator, Lu Xian subconsciously shivered. If the Godwind Academy really took the first place, then the Godwind Academy did not have any help from the intermediate class continents. Wanting to get all the resources was simply a dream. Not to mention those 5-Star Academies, even some of the more powerful 4-Star Academies and Academies would not pay any attention to the Godwind Academy. If the Godwind Academy obtained the first place, then it would not be the prelude to being promoted to a 6-Star Academy, but rather the prelude to courting death. Although the Falling Star Academy had this strength, it did not mean that the Godwind Academy would also have this strength. "Ning Cheng, this time I really have to thank you," Lu Xian said with some fear in his voice. "Deacon Lu is too polite. I am also a disciple of the Godwind Academy," Ning Cheng said with a smile, but in his heart he was also rejoicing. He had completely guessed it, but most of it was because of Ji Luofei. He did not expect that his guess would actually come true. This intermediate class continent really made the newly selected 6-Star Academy bear the brunt. Some of the academies or academies who knew about the background of the Godwind Academy already understood why the Godwind Academy did not want to be the first place, and could not help but secretly admire the shrewdness of the Godwind Academy. The old man who presided over the tournament continued. In addition to the Falling Star Academy that is about to become a 6-Star Academy, they will also receive a certain amount of resources as a reward, but the first place in each round of the tournament will also receive a reward. Because the first place in the first and second round of the tournament is the disciple of the Falling Star Academy, Yuing, so Yuing will receive the stipulated reward, and will also receive the opportunity to go to the Jia Continent's Celestial Globe 7-Star Academy to study. The Celestial Globe 7-Star Academy will also give the Falling Star Academy a certain amount of resources as compensation. The first place in the third round of the tournament is the Godwind Academy's Ning Xiaocheng. In addition to receiving the stipulated reward, Ning Xiaocheng will also receive a quota to go to the Angry Axe Valley, but this quota is not one of the 20 quotas for the lower-class continents. All the cultivators who are participating in the Angry Axe Valley will be leaving together with the airship to the Jia continent tomorrow. After half a year, all the cultivators from the Hua continent who are coming out of the Angry Axe Valley will be directly sent to the Moze Grand Plaza by the airship. Ning Qing really thought, this old man really wanted to take away Yuing. Lu Xian was thinking about the benefits that the Godwind Academy would obtain this time. Although the Godwind Academy did not obtain the first place, and was promoted to a 6-Star Academy, but they had obtained 3 quotas to enter the Angry Axe Valley. If you added Ning Cheng, then that would be 4 people. It can be imagined that when the disciples of the Angry Axe Valley came back, they would definitely bring back some good things. Even if it was not good, it would still be able to help the profound core dean of the Godwind Academy recover from his injuries. Thinking that the profound core dean of the Godwind Academy would be able to get rid of his injuries, Lu Xian was extremely excited. He quickly said to Ning Cheng, "Ning Cheng, this time when you go to the Angry Axe Valley, you must help my Godwind Academy look after the other 3 people." Ning Cheng had not yet spoken, when Meng Jingxiu took the initiative to speak. "Deacon Lu, I would like to recommend myself to enter the Angry Axe Valley. I asked Deacon Lu to help me, My lifelong wish is to enter the Angry Axe Valley." Saying that, Meng Jingxiu did not wait for Lu Xian to open his mouth, and once again bowed to Ning Cheng and said, "Senior Apprentice Brother Ning, before I was looking down on you, I ask Senior Apprentice Brother Ning to be magnanimous and not care about a woman like me." The quota for the Godwind Academy to enter the Angry Axe Valley was obtained by Brother Ning. This Jingxiu shamelessly asked Senior Apprentice Brother Ning to allow me to have a chance. Jingxiu will definitely repay you in the Angry Axe Valley. Meng Jingxiu's rudeness before made Ningqing feel very disgusted. But later he came to know that Meng Jingxiu was simply a straightforward person, and did not speak at all. She only knew the goal, and did not know the process of a woman. Although he did not have a good impression of Meng Jingxiu, but he did not feel disgusted with her. Meng Jingxiu had said that she wanted to participate in the 5-star tournament, which indicated that she was very eager to enter the Angry Axe Valley. And now she also said that she would definitely repay him in the Angry Axe Valley. Did she have a map of the Angry Axe Valley? Or was it some sort of secret? Anyway, how Lu Xian used this quota, it would not affect him. He himself already had a quota. Thinking till here, Ningcheng said in a light voice, "Deacon Lu is the Foreign Affairs Deacon of my Godwind Academy. Everything in the Godwind Academy is decided by Deacon Lu. No matter what choice Deacon Lu makes, I will definitely support it." When Lu Xian heard Ningcheng's words, he was overjoyed in his heart, but at the same time he was also secretly feeling comfortable, as he smiled and said, "Meng Jingxiu is one of the most outstanding true condensation cultivators in our Godwind Academy, not to mention that in the first 2 rounds of the tournament, Meng Jingxiu also put in a lot of effort, so of course she would have a quota." Many thanks Deacon Lu, many thanks Senior Apprentice Brother Ning. Although Meng Jingxiu did not know how to conduct herself, but that did not mean that she did not know how to express her gratitude. After Lu Xian agreed to Meng Jingxiu, he turned to Ning Cheng and said, "Ningcheng, my Godwind Academy also has 2 disciples who are going to the Angry Axe Valley. One is called Song Shua, and the other is called Ruemu Danchin." Speaking till here, Lu Xian waved his hand, and a young man and a younger girl who were standing behind him came to the front. The young male cultivator was estimated to be about the same age as Meng Jingxiu, and had the cultivation of true condensation 6th level, although he looked ordinary, but his face had a firm and resolute look. As for the young girl, Ningcheng estimated that she was at most 16 to 17 years old, but her cultivation was not low. She already had the cultivation of true condensation 5th level. Although this young girl had a pair of bright eyes, but she had thick lips, and her appearance was very ugly. It really did not match with her name at all. "Ningcheng, it's just Song Shua and Ruemu Danchin. Song Shua's father is the dean of the Godwind Academy. Ruemu Danchin is the top genius of my Godwind Academy. I would like to ask you to take care of the 2 of them in the Angry Axe Valley." Lu Xian very earnestly said to Ningcheng. Chapter 122. Ningcheng was always on the run. Coupled with his beard, he did not look young, but the fact was that Song Shua was older than Ningcheng. Although he was older than Ningcheng, but he had seen with his own eyes how powerful Ningcheng was on the stage. Even an expert like Lian Hao was unable to step down from the stage under Ningcheng's hands. He already admired Ningcheng to the extreme. He knew that although his cultivation level was higher than Ningcheng's, but if they really fought, then he would not be Ningcheng's opponent. Now that Lu Xian wanted Ningcheng to take care of him and Ruemu Danchin, he immediately cupped his fist towards Ningcheng and said, "Song Shua greets Senior Apprentice Brother Ning." He could have called Ningcheng as his junior apprentice brother, but he did not do so. Not to mention his status, compared to Ningcheng, he did not know how much higher it was. Ningcheng quickly said, "Senior Apprentice Brother Tsong is older than me. You can directly call me Junior Apprentice Brother." Song Shua said in a stern tone, "My father has always warned me, in the Yixing mainland, those who reach first. Senior Apprentice Brother Ning's ability is obvious to all, so Song Shua should be respected as a Senior Apprentice Brother." Ruemu Danchin was obviously not very sophisticated. She only saw Song Shua call Ningcheng as his Senior Apprentice Brother, and then quickly followed up and called him Senior Apprentice Brother Xiaocheng. She had also been watching Ningcheng's fight, listening to the discussions of the people on the side. Towards the senior apprentice brother Ning Cheng, she really admired him from the bottom of her heart. After Ning Cheng greeted the two of them, he turned to Lu Xian and said, "Deacon Lu, even if you did not tell me, Song Shua and Rui Mu Danqin are all from the Godwind Academy, we should help each other. But Ning Cheng also has a matter that he would like to entrust to Deacon Lu." Lu Xian was incomparably sophisticated. Ning Cheng had not even finished his words, but he already knew what Ning Cheng wanted to say. He immediately said, "Ning Cheng, you only need to go to the Angry Axe Valley. Ji Luofei is a disciple of my Godwind Academy. I will certainly not let her suffer any grievances. I already agreed that you have an immortal cave, so when Luofei returns to the Godwind Academy with me, I will arrange for her to choose for herself." Seeing Lu Xian being so tactful, Ning Cheng was overjoyed in his heart, and hurriedly thanked him again, before they started to discuss the matter regarding the Angry Axe Valley. After nearly a year of the 5-star tournament finally came to an end, some people were happy while others were sad. The biggest winner was none other than the Falling Star Academy. Not only did they succeed in standing out from the crowd, and became the first 6-star academy in the lower class continent, but they also obtained 5 quotas to enter the Angry Axe Valley. As for the dead Shuiyu, it simply had nothing to do with the Falling Star Academy. So for the Falling Star Academy, in addition to selecting 5 elites to go to the Angry Axe Valley, the most important thing was to start with the establishment of a 6-star academy. The next day, when Lu Xian and Ji Luofei sent Ning Cheng, Meng Jingxiu, Song Shua and Rui Mu Danqin to the Moz Grand Plaza, a silver airship-type artifact was already parked in the center of the Moz Grand Plaza. Apart from them, everyone else had already arrived. Ning Cheng and the others did not have to wait for long. When a man wearing a yellow cultivator's robe spoke out in a loud voice, "All the cultivators heading to the Jia continent, please board the airship. The airship will soon leave this place." Ning Cheng repeatedly told Ji Luofei not to leave the Godwind Academy, and to wait for him to come back. He also asked Deacon Lu Xian to take care of Ji Luofei, before he waved goodbye to Ji Luofei, and entered the cabin. Ji Luofei watched Ning Cheng enter the airship, while trying to hold back her tears. She had already secretly made up her mind, in the Falling Star Academy, she would definitely go all out in her cultivation. Ning Cheng had already given her more than half of the prizes. In addition to taking away a storage bag, he even gave her an essence-building pill and a medium-grade spiritual artifact. The silver airship brought with it a silver light as it rushed into the sky from the Moz Grand Plaza, and in just a twinkling of an eye disappeared without a trace. Lu Xian quickly brought out his airship-type artifact, and informed all the people from the Godwind Academy and Ji Luofei to board the airship-type artifact, and immediately took control of the airship and left the Moz city. This was what Ning Cheng had repeatedly said once he left. He also asked Lu Xian not to stay in the Moz Grand Plaza for even half a moment, and immediately leave. Ning Cheng had guessed that the 6-star academy would only be able to come to the Hua continent to help with the construction of the 6-star academy after the Angry Axe Valley had closed. As such, Lu Xian attached great importance to Ning Cheng's opinion. The airship of the Godwind Academy had just left, when a profound congealing cultivator and a late-stage essence-building cultivator from the Shui clan arrived at the Moz Grand Plaza. When they learned that the Godwind Academy had already left a moment ago, they resentfully turned back to the Shui clan. The 4 people from the Godwind Academy who were going to the Angry Axe Valley were vaguely led by Ning Cheng. Even Meng Jingxiu, who had eyes on the top of her head, at this time also obediently stood behind Ning Cheng. There were a total of 22 people from the Hua continent who were going to the Angry Axe Valley. As Ning Cheng looked at them, many of them were familiar faces. Che Ziwen, Ming Yujing, Sita Yuling Naixin, Fang Xian, Puli Xian, Yu Ying and the others. But what made Ning Cheng puzzled was that he unexpectedly saw Yong Guyun from the Ping continent. Even if Yong Guyun was now at the late stage of Qi gathering 9th level, moreover she was also from the Ping continent. So how could she have the qualifications to enter the Angry Axe Valley? Ning Cheng's doubts had not yet been solved. When he once again saw a familiar back, this back quickly disappeared from his sight, as the other people entered the cabin of the airship. Ning Cheng frowned, as he kept thinking about where he had seen this back before. Ning Cheng's memory was incomparably strong, but he unexpectedly could not remember where he had seen this back. A man with the cultivation of essence-building realm said to the crowd, "For people to a cabin, quickly go in. When the airship passes through the Lost Mountain Range, it is possible that we will encounter a powerful monstrous beast attack. If you feel the intense shaking or jolting of the airship, then stay in the cabin and do not come out." Everyone hastily complied, but at the same time they also had doubts in their hearts. The airship was flying at such a high altitude, and yet there were still monstrous beasts attacking. Just how powerful were these monstrous beasts? Lost Mountain Range, what a strange name. Ruemu Danqin, who was behind Ning Cheng, whispered to herself. Junior apprentice sister Danqin, don't speak too much here, just listen to senior apprentice brother Ning. Song Shua quickly exhorted. The ancient legend of the Lost Mountain Range is that this mountain range does not have a center, and the center of the mountain range is lost. There is also another legend, as long as anyone dares to walk through the center of the Lost Mountain Range, whether it is on the ground or in the air, they will disappear without a trace. It is because of this that the name Lost Mountain Range came to be. Our airship can only pass through the edge of the Lost Mountain Range. A young man in the middle of the team took the initiative to answer Ruemu Danqin's words. Ning Cheng was suddenly moved in his heart. He finally remembered where he had seen that person's back. The man who had answered Ruemu Danqin took the initiative to come up to Ning Cheng and cupped his fists and said, "I am Fang Xian from the Luohua Academy. Greetings, elder brother Ning." Ning Cheng immediately understood. This Fang Xian had almost died in the hands of Lian Hao. As such, he naturally did not have even half a shred of goodwill towards the insidious and vicious Lian Hao. Later, when he killed Lian Hao and helped him take his revenge, he definitely felt some gratitude towards him in his heart. As such, he only took the initiative to speak to him now. This was also reasonable. Originally, it was elder brother Fang from the Luohua Academy. Many thanks to elder brother Fang for dispelling my doubts. In fact, I did not know that the Lost Mountain Range had such a history. Ning Cheng hastily cupped his fists in return. The two of them were just about to speak a few more words, when that essence-building cultivator once again spoke. "Let's talk about it after the airship passes through the Lost Mountain Range. After we land, we can talk about it. Now let's first enter the inner cabin room." Everyone did not dare to stay outside, and immediately looked for a room to enter. The Godwind Academy just happened to have 4 people, so they all chose the same room. "We will stay in the room, do not go out." After Ning Cheng entered the room, he immediately spoke to the other 3 people. Ning Cheng was now equivalent to the representative of the Godwind Academy. As such, no one expressed any objection to his words, as they all closed their eyes to rest. Meng Jingxiu wanted to ask Ning Cheng how he killed Lian Hao, but Ning Cheng obviously did not want to talk about it. As such, she also did not dare to take the initiative to disturb Ning Cheng. At this time, Ning Cheng was thinking about that figure. He now remembered who that figure belonged to. It was the bald man at the True Condensation 3rd level that he had seen on the streets of the Moze city. That guy was wearing a jade bracelet on his hand, which made him notice him. At that time, because Luo Fei was stopped by the people from the Shui clan, he had given up on following that bald man. But the reason why he could not remember was because the figure that he had seen a moment ago was that of a woman. Moreover, it was a long-haired girl. A bald man and a long-haired girl. No wonder he could not remember. Ning Cheng was also able to recognize who this long-haired girl was. It really was that King Xiao from the Thunderfall Desert. When Ning Cheng recognized that the other party was the king that he had met in the desert, he immediately thought of the jade bracelet, and then thought that the backs of these 2 people were somewhat similar. For Ning Cheng, as long as there was even a little bit of similarity, he could immediately associate it. Ning Cheng was sure that even if that bald man was not Xiao, there was still a great relationship between them. Moreover, Ning Cheng was also sure that when he had seen that bald man on the streets, and was attracted by his jade bracelet, it was absolutely not a coincidence. Whether this King Xiao came for the Angry Axe Valley, or for the imperial jade seal on his body, Ning Cheng was a little more vigilant in his heart. That girl was able to enter the ruins of the Lani country, and even come out unscathed. It showed that she was not a simple person. Song Shua, how did our Godwind Academy's Dean Song get injured? Is the injury serious? The doubts in Ning Cheng's heart disappeared, and his whole body relaxed. He did not ask Lu Xian about the injury of the Dean Song. With Lu Xian's craftiness, as long as he asked, he would immediately know what he meant. He asked about the injury of the Dean Song, because he was really worried about Ji Luofei's safety. If the injury of the profound core dean of the God Wind Academy was not really that serious, then Ji Luofei's safety in the God Wind Academy would be another layer of protection. Song Shua obviously did not think too much about it. Now that Ning Qing asked about it, he quickly replied, "Many thanks for elder brother Ning's concern. My father's injury is very serious. This time I went to the Angry Axe Valley to look for the rainbow light grass." Rainbow light grass? Ning Cheng was moved in his heart. Looking for the rainbow light grass. Didn't it mean that the Dean Song's core lake was seriously injured? If a profound core cultivator's core lake was injured, then if it was serious, then it would be equivalent to a cripple. He had also obtained a rainbow light grass in the Dawn Forest, but he had auctioned it off. Now that he thought about it, it was a pity. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.